Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Cast or Curse. I am Zeke, and as usual, we are joined by our lovely friend Blair. Today, we've got some fun topics. This is gonna be an exciting one, I think. We're gonna talk about Combo Breaker. We're gonna talk about our Absa reactions, like initial impressions. We're gonna talk about our little wish lists for the next patch and the new event that, as of when we're recording, was just revealed. And our topic of today will be ranked mentality and how to go about playing unranked and things like that.
Yeah, I feel like the ranked mentality one in particular is something that people have been asking for, and even just seeing it, I know there's a bit I run in your chat and mine that I just say you're too weak for this.
Yes.
I
think there's gonna be a fun topic.
A greater conversation to be had about how to approach ranked and what the purpose of it is, and kind of parsing what your goals are with stuff like that, because I think whether you're a tournament player or not a tournament player or whatever, your goals kind of determine what your approach to it is going to be. And I think a lot of people get lost in the weeds.
Absolutely agree.
And frustrated with ranked.
Yeah. That is very much a common sentiment of the experience of playing ranked in any game, not even just rivals.
Yeah. That's damn true.
Yeah. Let's hop into it. Let's talk about Combo Breakers. So neither of us went. We were both home. That's the first thing before anyone asks. I'm sure someone will. But we both definitely stayed home and did not go to Combo Breaker.
I can't go to Combo Breaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was a fun tournament. It wasn't super stacked, but it was
it was fun to watch, though.
It was stacked enough, and it was still really fun. And even though it was one of the FGC events where usually platform fighters don't get a lot of love, I feel like the watching experience was good. It never felt like I felt like the schedule was good for watching it. I know some of the time the blocks they had, they played pretty late every day, which was kind of cursed. But besides that, it seems like everyone had a pretty good time outside of a couple miscommunications that happened throughout the weekend. But
I heard the tournament was run really well.
Yeah, there was only one little thing where when they did the just top 32 to top 24, that final little bit before on the second day, I think some of those sets were played and were some of them were best of 5 and some of them were best of 3. It was really weird the way they did it. It was just a weird block of well, technically some of these are top 32. So yeah, that's a best of 5.
West.
But also down here, this is not top 32. So you're playing a best of 3. And it was just and so there was some issues with stuff like that. But besides that, it seems like it was fine.
Yeah, I heard good things about it. And I think from a viewer perspective, I got to see the games that I wanted to see, and shout out to production and casters and stuff who were there.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think the only set that happened that I was oh my god, I wish we got to see this was it Cheesy versus where is it? I'm looking for it.
Dan Fornacy.
Oh, that one was on stream. She showcased something very funny, actually, and a lot of people don't know this, but anytime she grabs somebody, she will look at your controller for 2 things: what pummel you press, and your DI on down throw if she's gonna down throw you. And she did it to Dan, which was so funny.
If I play Cheesy in bracket, she's getting an elbow in the face.
It's so funny because she is one of the nicest, most amazing people in this community.
I know she
so
is,
much love, but she is a vile player.
That's
first
disgusting.
It's the Vader and skating the line on that, and finally making those rules.
Hands.
Now it's this shit. Apparently she went to, I think it was a SoCal tournament. It was just before Combo Breaker. She played against a player named T-Rex. And T-Rex, mid-set, was what are you doing? Like, stop looking at my controller, and like crashed out like
turn
mid-set.
away.
Like it literally, it was like, no, don't look. That's dirty.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, but
any advantage, anything you can get, I guess.
anything.
Cheesy.
She's down.
She's all about the intangibles.
and I appreciate her because she leans into it, and like she even made the post herself. Let me pull it up on screen here of the moment when this happens against Dan, for any of our video watchers here seeing this.
Oh my god,
and she
she's
turns
looking right
and looks
so
directly at it, and she
bad.
posted this herself. So you know what?
So
I respect
funny.
you, Julie. At least you own it. Very, very funny. Very, very funny.
Julie's on watch for that one. I don't know.
I know what to do to you next time we hang out.
that's some like big D.
I'm gonna
big
grab
D
you
bullshit
and just
stuff.
turn 90 degrees and look at you and be like, thanks, and then press the button.
I will kick you in the shins. I will.
Okay. But there were a lot of really good sets here. In this top 24 is what this is, right? Let me whoop.
Yeah.
This top 24
for you.
So first of all, it started BioBurb being his first like big tournament where he committed to playing like 99% Rano.
Yeah.
And notably, this was on the patch with the funny up air before they reverted the change.
True.
So he had a good time overall, but Vibe did get the upset on him 3-1, and very handily. Vibe played really well in this set and had a really good advantage as a whole, like out the gate with this entire set.
I believe this was Vibe's first major as well.
He's been to Hitfall, and then he won, what is it, the Melee event one, but it wasn't one of the RCS events. But he did go to Hitfall 3.5.
Yeah, is that like,
Full
I feel
blue.
like this is like bigger than that though.
Oh no, most definitely. It was like similarly stacked, because that was the one that had Toothbrush Cake for grand finals. If you remember that.
Yeah, I do.
So it was still pretty stacked, and I think at that event he beat Cheesy Potato and stuff like that. So like he's gotten a couple wins here and there, but this was his first like major for Rivals, which is really cool. And he's young too. He's like 16 or something like that. I forget exactly. Like he's a kid.
Yeah, he's definitely been someone who's on the radar though, especially if you've been keeping up with like online brackets and stuff like that. You've seen his name before. I think it's so funny because I think we're so embedded in the like online culture of this game.
Yeah.
That I see Vibe beating Bio and I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
No, it was super possible.
And I see other people being like, who is this? I've never heard of this player. Like, where did he come from? Whatever. I'm like, y'all been paying attention? Or like,
there is a lot of people who just watch the big tournaments.
It makes me feel too embedded. But I think for people who have been like keeping up, I think Vibe, we talked about players who are kind of like on the precipice of having that run. Players like, like Hyperflame and Zach and that kind of, I think Vibe was in that group and had kind of that breakout tournament at Combo Breaker. Yeah, no,
he really blew out the expectations, and we'll talk about more of his run in top 8 because he did very well. But here in top 32, like he got that upset. Then Lucius and Stango finally played, which was something that I think a lot of people were looking forward to. Just because I don't think they've ever really run into each other since. Is that
like Fabled or what?
Well, not like that. It's like Lucius historically like actually does kind of well versus a lot of the PM and the Melee guys and stuff like that.
I see.
And so they haven't played each other since like beta or something like that. So it's been like a really long time. And
I see.
Stango definitely showcased that it was like he was prepared and he felt good and won that very handily with a 3-0 here.
I think like this is not to be like disrespectful, but no. I feel like Lucius was someone, especially during the beta tournaments, was someone I was like is in contention for the top 10, and as
he
the
definitely
game
has
came
dropped
out,
a little
has
bit.
like fallen off a little bit from that. I'd be curious to get his take on that because he was looking really strong. And seems to be struggling just a little bit in like maintaining the form after everyone else got their hands on the game.
A big part of it has been mental. He is one of the players that I have been coaching for a bit, and a lot of it has been mental and like coming to terms with certain changes in the game and things like that, and just continuing to learn a game that is not in his niche per se, because he played Rivals 1 and he played a little bit of
Yeah.
Ultimate and stuff, but it was like he played Rivals 1 and his game is not Rivals 1 at all. And so there's a lot of learning new things and unlearning a lot of things. And he's been doing a really good job with that. But just before this event, he went to the Fusion Major X2 and beat Switch.
Very well.
He got second place. So he definitely came here on like a hot streak too, which is like, that was a big one. So I think he is very happy with that as a whole.
Good.
And so I think like overall it was a good time, and it seems like it was very productive, and that's what matters. That's really what matters.
It's nice to see him playing again. I always think of like, the Rano that like abuses the movement tech, and a lot of that got nerfed. So I understand how there's probably some difficulties there, but I think he's probably going to be able to like get over that hump. At the very least, shown he could have done it in the first. He has done it in the first place.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, he loves Rano so much as like a character and everything
fair
like
enough.
that. And so he'll always just be trucking along and figuring it out and having a good time. And I think that's what matters above all else. Then
Big Billy Bats.
Big Billy Bats with his run back with Yoda Cage from the Zeekly.
Brimful.
They had a very funny set where Yoda hit some crazy clips, but Billy locking it in 3-0, like clean, like super clean. And like this being one of Fleet's harder matchups, and Yoda also someone he hasn't traveled a lot, but has been in a ton of online tournaments and just grinding and grinding and grinding.
Offline too.
Yep.
Like Yoda's just been grinding. I feel like we talked about it. What tournament was it? The Tri-State tournament that Yoda was at. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when he beat Lucius there, actually.
He was there. Yeah. So like he's been grinding.
Yeah.
So I think Yoda, again, someone we know is good.
Yes.
But I think, and I talked about this on the last episode, but Billy was coming in with a bit of a hot streak.
Yes.
Especially in online tournaments. And I remember saying specifically, I think B-Bats could go on a run here.
Yeah.
Go on a run.
And we'll see that run here in a minute.
I'm glad we got that on recording because I always know, fuck you guys.
After that, though, our next little trooper here, Hyperflame actually got a game on Cake, which is a huge feat. I think that's a really good sign. Definitely pushed Cake, and it was a tough one. No characters. I do not remember exactly if he did ode or anything off the top of my head right now, but I'm pretty sure he lost the Forest Moon. That was a good one. Now, losers side is where this gets a little crazy, and like where a lot of the killers who made it through. Oh, here it is. The set that I wish we got to see that we didn't was Cheesy Sego.
Oh, versus Sego, yeah.
This was a set I really wanted to see because Lucius, I believe, beat Sego. Oh yeah. Lucius, the whole thing that like why he was so happy is that he beat Sego to get to winners, to get to play Stango. And the way he beat him was so god awful stressful. It was a best of 3, and it was game 3 on a rock wall. And they're both at like 120, right? They end up in this little scramble on the right side, and the Lucius yeet strikes again. He grabs Olympia at like 120 and just throws him, and doesn't even purple, and you just see Olympia whoop into the blast zone, and just that's it. And they both just go and laugh, like they both laugh like okay, like oh no, but it was a funny one, and Lucius is like yes it worked, I got it.
That shit's scary though, because if he down throws you also die.
yeah, it's a scary one. But some interesting people that showed up here did really well. Dakpo went on a huge run.
That's my fucking guy.
He beat Raven King, and Raven King actually placing higher in Rivals than he did in Smash, which is really cool to see. He's been putting a little bit more time in this. We
need to bully him for that.
Then Dakpo winning Game 5 over Juno.
That's a sick win for Dakpo.
That's a big win. Juno has been on a really good streak, having beaten Bio before too on Raster. That is a really good win, and it was one of the ones we prepared for, which is awesome.
Nice. And
then Dakpo beating Lucius pretty handily. He played that very well and was definitely like confident in fighting Rano, and it showed. And that was really sick.
Dakpo, man, Smash Ultimate players eating good this tournament.
Dude, my man's everything. He's the Smash Ultimate, the Smash 4, the PM, the Brawl.
I know.
He's been around.
I'm just being a Jim.
No, I know. It's cool to see because the next person I want to talk about is another like OG that's been around for a long time. That being Sago. Both Sago and Dakpo, the Unk squad, pulled through and make it into loser side top 8.
This was insane.
Yeah, Sago beating Mace Renard, who I think played Forsburn.
He does, yeah.
Then Sago playing the winner of Cannon Red and Cheat. Cheat being, I believe, the highest placing Edalus at this event. I forget.
And people were talking about Cannon Red to me.
Yes.
While the tournament was going on, as someone who was kind of like a dark horse coming in.
Cannon Red apparently has been doing very well locally and like has been slowly doing more stuff online, but it was not someone super on my radar. But it's really cool to see how much they've been playing, and like that they seem to be loving this game. But then Sago beat Cannon Red, and then the big one was Sago won Game 5 against BioBurb.
Was this Rano Locks?
Yes.
Dude, how? Bio
had and this is not like a John, but like as his coach, I met with him this week and we talked about it, and it was just like, this was a tournament where like he got super nervous for like the first time in a long time. That's the only way and that's what it was. And like, you know what it is that like, that's part of the competition, is that Sago came in and he was running hot and he felt really good, and it showed in like his confidence.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. By the way, congrats, and everybody buy Pudding Frog on Steam. That's his game that he made and that just came out, and it's awesome.
Yeah, what a beast.
Dude's just like a dad or whatever and making video games and shit and just showing up.
I love it.
The goat. Really cool stuff. Then let's head on down here. Cheesy Sego happened. Sego also beat Hunter, which I totally forgot who Hunter was last week, but that is Globox, who is very good. And I'm literally mutuals with them on Twitter, and I felt so bad. The podcast ended, and I literally looked at myself in the mirror and was like, oh my God, I know who Hunter is. And it like hit me like a truck. And I was like, no, I'm a dick.
I saw a couple tournament results after the podcast had ended as well, being like, oh, that's what they've done. So
yeah, Hunter is super good. But Cheesy making her way through it, then having to fight Hyperflame, which is another run back, I think, from Hitfall. And Hyperflame takes that one very handily through one. He played that very clean.
He's been due as well,
yes.
I feel like.
Yep. Then our goat Shro trucks on through. He had an unfortunate time. He had one of those sets where there was the miscommunication, and like he waited a really long time to play, and then ended up in losers, and was a little frustrated. But he locked it in and trucked through and beat Seth, beat Glum, and beat Yoda Cage Game 5. And
that's so beast.
Absolutely popped off super hard and earned it, because this is his first like big tournament for Rivals. He popped off when he beat Yoda. Yeah, 100% popped off.
I love that.
He earned it, and it was a big pop off because he was just like, yes, oh my God. And it was like, he really like cleaned up and played so well like as the set went. That was one of those ones where it's like he ramped it up and was like, I got this, and just took advantage of every opportunity. That was like, he was really showing his chops in that set. It was really cool to see.
I don't know Schroeder personally, but I've heard a lot of good things about the Arizona scene in general.
Yeah.
Not to dox Schroeder.
No, you're fine. He's AZ. He is AZ born and raised, as far as I know.
But I think I've heard a lot of good things about the Arizona scene. And the kind of community that they have there. So I think it's sick to see a player like Schroeder, who has, again, like come from Ultimate, come from other things.
Yeah.
And found success in all of those games, show up in Rivals 2 and kind of do what we expect him to do. And even from like a personal lens, I think Schroeder is a player I often identified a lot with, even just in myself, in terms of just like picking this and picking that and doing this and doing that. So I like seeing Schroeder do well.
Yeah, no, he's someone I loved coaching back in the day. He's got a great mind and a great mindset, and it's really nice to see him back. And we're gonna definitely talk a little bit more about this top 8 side now. On the loser side, we have Sago Dakpo, then head to head, and Sago clutches that out, getting 2 raster wins, which is crazy. And Schroeder,
that character's good, I guess.
beating Hyperflame Game 5, and that was another one that, like, man, he's so good. Holy moly, my man cooked. Really cool to see. Like, obviously biased, I love them both, but Schroeder just really cooked.
That set was sick.
That set was
You
so
didn't get a
sick.
chance to watch it. It was a good set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on winner's side, Vibe winning game 5 last hit versus Stango, who is when 2-0 behind with Zetterburn swapped to Crag to take 2 games, and had a little bit of a choky wokey on that last game. I won't lie, did not play the hottest I've seen him play, but Vibe, and like Vibe even talked to me about this. He was like, dude, he was so scared and so stressed. He was literally shaking. And like the moment he finally stopped shaking, it was like, oh my God, I can breathe. And then like won the game, and it was like, yes,
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
I did it. And it was just like, oh my God. And I'm pretty sure he popped off too. And like, that's a huge win for Vibe. Like, this
honestly,
was
pop
definitely
off on Stango.
Absolutely.
I encourage anyone to pop off on Stango. Even if you don't feel it, give him a little one.
No. If
just for the culture.
I take a stock on Stango, I'm popping off.
Every time, man.
Every
you can piss
time.
him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then history has changed. Billy Bats wins 3-1 over Cake Assault.
And the funniest thing about this is it was not like that close.
No, not at all.
Kind of fucked them.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was genuinely awesome and beautiful to see. And Billy really caught him. Like, really, really caught him. And it was genuinely inspirational to be like, there have been times on the record, Billy is like, I'll never beat Cake. Like, that'll never happen. And he's been putting in the work this past few months, and it shows. It really does show.
You could tell, though. I'm telling you, you could tell that it was a matter of time before he was going to go on a run like this, just by the way that he's been playing.
Yep.
And whether you believe in Fleet or don't believe in Fleet or believe in Fleet as like a result of this, whatever, like, I don't care. But I think
You might be able to do it.
I mean, she can do it, but she's been able to do it. Like,
of course, yeah.
We can cope all we want, but it's been fine.
Yep, she's fine.
She's been good.
Yep.
But I think, like, when you have like people kind of investing as like character specialist type people, especially at the level that BVATS has been playing at, it's very hard to get Fleet practice at that level.
Exactly.
And that's not just to say it's all gimmicks, but more so it's hard to say, it's hard to figure out what the cadence is.
Yeah.
Because Fleet has timings and mix-ups that other characters don't have.
And the funny thing is, like, one of the other best ones is Cake himself, but he can't play against himself. His next best option is like Mystery Soul, and they are coast to coast, so it's a little rough for them to play.
Not a nice connection.
Yeah. And also, Soul doesn't play like Billy. Like, that's the thing. Billy is very unique in the way he plays, and I think
Soul
that showed.
has a lot more like kind of like movement based pressure and tricky stuff. Where B-Bats is just like,
I'll beat your
You're
ass.
gonna die off stage, and then every aerial I throw is safe. And
I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna show you I am better than you. That's the Billy way right there. But that was such a beautiful set, and I love getting to tell people, like, dude, that's the best I've ever seen you play. And that was one of those moments where I told them, and I was like, dude, that was amazing.
It was unreal. Yeah,
that is amazing.
I'm glad he showed up.
Yeah, me too. Then we got winners finals being Vibe B-Bats, which I'm sure a lot of people did not bet on happening.
No one got that right.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. Because then Cake beating Sago, also Billy beating Vibe, which I will say in the TPPS just before this, I'm pretty sure Billy beat him in that as well.
I mean, he smacked him in winners.
Like I will say, like, Vibe not super great. He's in a little bit of a bad streak versus Fleet right now. It just has not hit for him. It goes to show,
impossible matchup, by the way.
Yeah, it goes to show that, like, as the changes have happened more and more and more, like, it's definitely like a hard-ish matchup. But I've even talked about this with.
I don't think it is. I'm at the point where I think Fleet goes even or wins.
Let me finish.
I'm going crazy.
Let me finish. I actually had this conversation with Runga and Shu recently, and we definitely agreed that, like, it is probably like even or like 55-45, like Claren, and it's like just because counter can like make things a little funky, but it's very even right now. And in like it is not the same matchup that it was 6 months ago. It is not at all.
No.
Claren's movement nerfs and the hitbox changes and all this stuff. There's so many things that have happened that this is a lot more doable now, and I think Billy showed that at this tippy top level that like if you can make your hits count, holy moly, like it's big. And Fleet has gotten a lot of compensation love too on that front as well. And like I think the big one, there's something that Billy's been doing that like I even told him, I was like, dude, this thing you're doing is insane, and it's the instant float up air. And like how he uses it to like scoop, and it can like combo into itself, and it's like nobody in the game has something like that, like of that caliber, and like how quick it goes. It's so cool, and it's like
it's safe too.
It's like, so good, and he was like, as of the week before and into this tournament, like had been hitting stuff like that, like the super high execution stuff like that, and it was like, damn, like he is making these hits count and running away with them, and that is exactly what the thing with like
the instant flow up air and stuff is like that's new too. Like you couldn't do that before the ECB changes. So I think, like you said, as Fleet has gotten like little things here and there, I think she was one of the biggest winners from the ECB changes overall.
Agreed.
But she's gotten a number of compensation buffs to the point where a matchup like Claren that before felt unwinnable, we're seeing Fleet's pretty consistently win it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Mystery Souls beating Gengar.
Yeah.
You know, B-Bats beating every other Claren. Like we're seeing Clarens lose to Fleets regularly. To the point where it's very hard to argue that it's still.
It's cool to see how the meta is
terrible matchup.
Both developing and the game itself evolving is affecting that too. Because while these characters have gotten direct changes, the engine changing is primarily what affected this, which I think is really cool. But yeah, that was really sick. And then down on loser side, we have Cake and Sago. Cake taking that 3-0, but it was a 3-0, but some of those games were really close, I won't lie. They were scary. It was a scary set. And then Stango taking it over Stro. Dropped a game to Stro, but overall Stango did a really good job in that set and cleaned it up. And the fated return of Cake Assault Stango, and it being Cake taking it 3-1 quite handily.
Stango was a coward for not going Craig. I'll say it. It would have worked.
What I'll say is this whole tournament he played kind of like a weirdo, and even when I was watching this tournament live, I was like, why are you doing that input is really weird, right? And it's like, did you see his controller?
Is it just fucked? Like, does he just have an old man controller?
My god, let me pull this up, and I'm gonna pull this on stream for people to see, because I got actually angry when I saw this. Like,
is this like does he have like a Vince tier controller?
Like, actually, you know what I'm talking about? Angry. This pissed me off. Oh god. This pissed me off.
That's not the tape.
You can see, for anyone for our audio listeners, for reference, his back shell is not the same color, and it's the white one, so it doesn't fit correctly with the black OG shell front. Okay, that's one. Two, apparently the shell on the back is broken. So it is, the left grip is duct tape, like completely wrapped in duct tape.
Someone smashed it.
And that's one. Apparently he hadn't changed the duct tape until just before this tournament too. So it's, then you can see the grime. You can see the grime on the controller. It's dusty. Now, this is a message. This is a message to Stango. Stango, if I ever hear you say this fucking game eats my fucking inputs ever again,
brother, it's
I will personally smash your controller to pieces, to literal pieces, and you won't have one anymore. I never want to hear that come out of his mouth ever again after seeing that. That made me legitimately angry.
Worse than mine.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Because like mine, for those of you that can't see it all briefly, this was my old one.
Yeah, the mismatching shell and everything, yeah.
The two mismatching shells, but also the buttons don't fit properly.
Yeah.
And the internals are just pieces of other controllers that worked. So the both sticks, the buttons, and the triggers are all from different controllers, as is the motherboard.
God bless.
So
Yeah.
to be worse than that is
impressive.
Yeah. No, we don't hate mishmashing shells. Problem is some controllers have different shell sizes.
Yes, the different eras of GameCube controllers.
Yes,
they don't fit each other.
Different eras of GameCube controllers don't fit each other.
Yes.
So again, for those that can see, this controller, the white shell is bigger than the teal shell, and so there's a gap here.
Yep.
Due to the shells being a different size, and it collects grime and also just catches your skin when you hold it. It's pretty gross.
It's not good for the controller, and it's not good for your hands, and you're gonna make it's gonna break faster because a bunch of grime and dust is gonna get in more.
It also puts wear on the Z button.
That's true. That is also true. Yep. Yeah, no, guys, take care of your controllers. I encourage you all to get a fucking Tri-Wing and a Phillips head and learn how to clean your controller and replace the parts, the basic level stuff. You don't need to learn how to solder, but there are a lot of people that don't know how to do that. And
mine wouldn't exist if I didn't.
Yep, exactly. Maybe it shouldn't actually. Maybe you shouldn't have a Tri-Wing.
Everyone but me should get a Tri-Wing.
Gonna appreciate this one. Our live chat just asked, "Can I put it in the dishwasher?" Great question. We're gonna keep moving back. We're gonna talk more about. Don't do that. We're gonna talk more about this top 8 because losers finals being Vibe Cake was also a very close set with another game 5. Cake,
that was a banger as well.
That was a banger set, and from then Cake bringing it back to grand finals and really showed up and was like, you know what?
Yeah, that was brutal.
I want it. And I think he caught Billy getting a little nervous and like burning out a little bit. And like Cake was on a hot streak from beating Stango and Vibe and like was really like locked in on it. And I think that momentum enabled him a lot.
I think you could kind of see it click once Cake got to game 5 with Vibe, because that game was not close either. And so I think not that he'd like decided to win.
No, but it was like it made sense.
I think when he got to that game, he got a bit of a second wind and was like, okay, I feel very confident about winning this game. And as a result of this, I feel very confident about going and beating Billy.
Yeah.
100%. In the run back. And it felt very like, as much as some of the games were close or winnable, it felt very according to plan, for lack of a better term, for Cake. Because it seemed like everything he was trying to do was working well enough to win. It never seemed like he was pushed into a place where he was feeling like uncomfortable.
Exactly.
After that game 5.
Yeah, I super agree with that. That was definitely it really goes to show like how important it is, like the mental side, where it's like you gotta be in the moment and like have the confidence, and sometimes you gotta build it up. And it's like it took him losing to Billy to then go down and beat Sago and beat Stango and clutch up versus Vibe and like have that really strong closer to then be able to go into grand finals and 6-0 sweep. Like it would not have happened this way had this not played out in this situation.
Well, I think when we talk about it, this like idea of like having the second wind, I think there are players that definitely get it, and some more so than others. But when you get late into tournament, you need something to keep you going because you've been playing for a very long time at that point. And I think there are players who, whether a certain thing happens or a certain read goes their way or a certain game goes their way, they can flip from being like cooked to being like, okay, I have a shot. And as soon as it like, as soon as mentally you're able to switch over from that, like, I'm so tired, or like, I don't want to be here anymore, or like, I shouldn't have lost that game. Kind of mentality, and you have that like quick flip to, okay, this read is going well, I have a handle on the game, I know where I want to be, all of this stuff. Like it's very night and day.
I always call it the I'm sick as fuck buff. When you do something and you're like, I'm sick as fuck, I'm the top player, I can do this. And like having that like moment, that like almost like epiphany of like remembering like, oh, I can do this, like I'm seeing myself do it in real time. does really matter for a lot of people, because one of the best ways that a lot of competitors practice is like internalizing the times that they have done it, and in meditation, like remembering it and like reliving the moment almost is a big part of
Yeah,
it.
it's a
And
visualization exercise I do with people that involves
exactly.
that.
Yeah. And I think like that's something that a lot of people, especially in esports, struggle with. Confidence and ego are like at an all-time, like it's like the highest high or the lowest low. And I think in fighting games especially, it's tough because when you lose, like you lose and no one
It's
else
your
loses.
bad.
It's
Yeah.
your bad. And I think, and we'll kind of talk about this more in our later section about ranked, but I think this was a really good example of like he lost and he was like, that's my bad. I'm
Yeah,
gonna do
all
better.
good.
I'm
We're
gonna
gonna fix
work on
it.
doing better. I do care and I'm invested. And it's like he had to like take. I think him losing to Billy was really important, and like we'll see that carry into future events and like how that affects his like mental and like his growth.
I have a funny like personal anecdotal story about this too, and you might know this one, but this was at must have been Battle BC 3.
Okay.
It was I think it was way back in Smash 4, and it was when coaching was still legal.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone had whoever they wanted to come coach them after every game, whatever. It was funny. It was a good time. Honestly, I would be down to bring it back for a tournament.
We'll talk about that another time. Yeah, keep going.
But I was playing against Strike, and this is the second or third time I had played against him. And I had beat him with Donkey Kong the 1 or 2 times or whatever. So he'd picked up Fox specifically to play against me, so that didn't happen. And luckily for me, this was in the Luigi era.
Yes.
So,
I remember this.
Yes. What ended up happening is he won the double blind. So we started DK Fox. He won. Switched to Luigi Fox, I won. Switch back to DK Fox, he won. Switch back to Luigi Fox, I won. So then we were at game 5, and I called over Alphakins for my mid-set coaching. I was like, Luke, you gotta help me. And I was like, what do I do? How do I get this game 5? I lost the double blind. And he just came up to me and whispered into my ear. He was like, your Luigi's kind of sick. And then he walked away. Then we played Luigi Sheik, game 5.
Yep.
I won.
Yep.
So sometimes you just gotta have an Alphakins in your ear believing in you. Yeah. As soon as he said, I was like, "You're fucking right, man."
Shout out to
right.
Luke. I love you, bro.
Yeah. That's the only time he's ever said something nice about me too. It's crazy.
Deserved, honestly. I think it was when it mattered. It's when it mattered.
That was my guy. Yeah. He held out on me and he said, "I got you." And even like that tournament, I don't know. There's something about just like believing that you're playing well. Because I also went game 5 with Land in that tournament as well. All Luigi Pikachu, which is
I remember that.
Yeah, dummy.
I can't tell you how many times me and Luke have sat behind you playing a set and been like,
"Oh my god!
Oh, she's playing so well, but we can never tell her that."
You can't say that. You can't say
like,
that.
You hit some stuff, and we've looked at each other and been like, That's nice. That was fucked up. That was really good. But like never telling her. Never ever.
Like going to the grave with it. Like, yeah. Just a silent acknowledgement.
Yeah. That was big. That was big. We had a shared experience of that for sure.
I know. There were a couple like spot dodgers, pivot grabs that would land back in the day.
Yep.
And I knew people thought they were nice because they were hard reads and no one would say a damn thing about it.
Oh man. Yeah. But no, confidence is the strongest tool above all else. Like it really is, especially once you're already good enough, right? It's like you gotta believe that you can actually do it, and I think a big part of that is being able to fail and still believe that you can do it. That's where people fail. But yeah, that kind of covers Combo Breaker. Fun tournament. Was very fun to watch and hang out with everybody. Thank you for everyone who did watch with me on stream. That was a great time.
That was fun.
That was sick. But now we are in Absa Summer. Absa Summer, baby. Woo! Yeah! Get fucked. Woo!
Oh,
my character's in the game. Get fucked.
So
I'm gonna make you so miserable. I cannot wait. I will
was
say
so
though,
sad.
you are lucky though, because funny enough, in Rivals 1, Claren actually did kind of well, but Claren was kind of doo-doo poo-poo in that game. But
Yeah, I
now,
heard that.
now she's pretty good.
No,
now
I'll
she
just play
can.
Absa. I'll
Yeah.
just play Absa.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fine.
This is what we're doing.
I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
worried. I'm not worried.
Add
Have
another
you seen
one
my
to the arsenal.
Samus? It's incredible.
Add another one to that. It's not. This character is not Samus.
My Samus is amazing.
You ever tried Maple?
My Maple's also amazing.
But no, I am so excited. I'm so excited for this character. I'm excited to potentially get to see more Penguin. She's amazing.
Yes, Penguin. That's so
Player,
sick.
an amazing competitor. We'll see if she's gonna lock in or not. But Absa will be releasing July 1st, the week of Gommel.
We'll be there.
And we will
Playing
both
Absa.
be there. But yeah, guys, if you want to get a chance to play some Absa when you're at Gommel, definitely come to my coaching booth, where you get some coaching and play some. I'll definitely have the Absa
Yo,
patch.
I just realized we could do like
Yeah.
we could do a classic Nurse Zeke lab it out kind of.
Yeah, we can.
You know,
You can
back
just come
back
hang
like
out.
the old days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my God, we haven't done that
I'm
in-
getting nostalgic. Yeah, that's.
We haven't done that since like.
Yanetta came out like.
Wow.
No, I remember we did one of the ultimate patches. It was one of the early ones.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think it was probably when Piranha Plant came out.
It
No,
was
it was when
d-
Joker came out.
It was when Joker came out for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
what it
remember
was. Because we
that.
talked a lot about Joker back then.
We did.
Yeah. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. Some people have asked to like, are they gonna make her legal to be played there? And there's just no way. There's just no way. And that's fine. It'll just be the previous patch. And
It'll
speaking
be
of
the new patch.
speaking of, but yeah, Absa looks awesome. But we have some crazy balance patches that they've been kind of teasing for a while, and most notably like Zetterburn and stuff. And I think this summer is going to be the first like next big major shift since like December, maybe like January, Feb, like patch where it's like, all right, we know who's good and who's not, or like whose turn it is going to be more blatant. And especially with characters like Edalus getting more popular and getting better results now with full stream, and many others doing more and more with that character and putting him on the radar, with Raster kind of having a flip-flop, going from like people being like, this is the best fucking character in the game, to this, and getting a little mixed result, still showing up, but like kind of flip-flopping and like being in this weird spot right now where they want to rework him and have been pretty public about that. It's interesting. Or even just like Loxodon, fucking top 8 Sago, like
You can't stop him. You nerf him a billion times when he's already the worst character in the game, and he still wins. So
it's so awesome.
Obviously
it's so
some of us
awesome.
are off the damn goop. I don't trust myself anymore.
Literally, I don't know anymore. I don't care anymore. It's messed up. But it's gonna be a good time.
I wanna like hop back on the Absa train.
Yes.
For the purpose of just kind of exploring this idea of like, yes, Fleet is a zoner, but like a character like Absa does not really currently exist in the game.
Well, the thing is, like, Fleet isn't even actually a zoner. I think when she launched, she was, right? Where side B and down B and stuff.
Now.
And now she's not. She is very much like a sword character that can throw things at you and has float. That's what she is. And that's cool. And she's fun, right? But she is not a zoner. And Absa is kind of a weird, like, zoner because similarly, it's not like she throws out a bunch of things, right? But she's actively like moving around and things like that, and has a lot of tools to like actually scrap with you like very effectively. You know, most notably, the thing I'm excited to see more of is her Nair. Her neutral air is very like Mewtwo-esque, Pikachu Ultimate-esque, and in the first game, you know, it was a drag down, right? But in this game, with the way SDI works and force knockdown and things like that, one of the things that people started to develop in the first game was like trying to get like tech chases, right? And like there was no like knockdown in that game in the same way, but in this game, you can cook up some devious scenarios, and I'm really excited. We've seen how powerful the Cloud already looks, as well as like the special pummel that she has. Like it's gnarly. Her jab looks very fine. Like it's the bad but good jab, where it's like the 1-2, or
like
the
villager jab.
and then F tilt is big. slap. Yep. That's
think
the slight
that was
combo.
my biggest takeaway from the trailer was Absa got to keep a lot of very big hitboxes that nobody else got to keep.
Yeah, there was a
Um,
statement from Menace in my chat actually that I can say.
Okay.
It was public. That was like she is the least changed character of the original cast right now.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
It's
And
cool.
I think I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because I think they're gonna make her light, and that's gonna be her like
Yes.
weakness,
Yep.
and her recovery is probably not gonna be super strong in this game.
Mhm.
So that's gonna be where she falters. So she's gonna have similar weaknesses to Olympia. And again, this is not to say what you want about Olympia, but Olympia again has weaknesses.
No, I
at
get what you're
least.
saying. It's a character that like
Um,
you can get gotcha'd and stuff. Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. I guess I want to see them make a character that has a weakness that's not that. Mostly. And I think the main other example is Raster, where you just hold down against them, but that's not that fun.
That's not fun for anyone. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if they can make like an engaging weakness that isn't just like you can get gotcha'd because you have a bad recovery and you're light.
You want to know what's funny actually? And there was a moment. So I'm so grateful that I posted the clip of this on my Twitter of like the reaction where there was like 8 of us or something, 10 of us in the call, and it was a bunch of the awesome top players and players I've coached and stuff like that, all hanging out for the reaction. And there's 2 things that like we all noticed and freaked out about. It was like one.
Well, do we want to play the trailer? Really
no, because it's just gonna be audio, so it's not worth it for like our audio listeners.
Yeah.
It'll just be awkward. I'll be sure to link the trailer for anyone. But there are 2 things that we noticed immediately, and it's like one, she is so tiny, like really small. Like she's like Olympia size, which is like based on the lore and like the videos we've seen, it makes sense. But oh my god, is she gonna be this tiny little thing that's like throwing shit at you? Like oh god.
Yeah.
And that's like something that people get frustrated about, like Duck Hunt, where it's like he's so tiny that like trying to catch him can be frustrating. And then two, so many moves either can like soft spike you or spike you or hit you down and away. And we immediately like I got a whiff of that shit and I was like, why does everything spike? Why is everything spiking? And I'm like freaking out.
Problem.
Like, I was like, that's not good. That can't stay that way. That's not good. But it was like, that's going to be crazy. Like, that's going to be crazy that it's like everything has that like gnarly down and away hit. And I was like, oh man, here we go. This could be the whole thing. People were like, oh, you want to make a character that can edge guard more? Let's do it. She's going to go out there and beat your ass.
I think what I noticed immediately from the trailer, first of all, I didn't know that cloud hop mix up was a thing.
Yeah,
where she like bounces off the cloud.
Yeah,
that's
boink.
insane.
It's broken.
First of all, I really love that as like a mix up idea.
You get to be Wario with a nest double
if
jump.
you're watching this, the cloud hop mix up is the coolest thing that character has. It's the coolest thing.
Never take it away.
It's the thing with the most skill expression. And it is fun. It's fun pilled. Give more characters that you don't like shit like that, and they'll be more fun. This is my thesis for Rivals of Ether 2.
Editors.
It's so sick.
Editors, we don't have an editor. Roll the clip of Protagify cloud hop camping for 6 minutes. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, you should get banned if you make those things look not fun. Add that to the rules as well.
Proto, Girly Pop, my bestie, you're banned. Sorry. Unfortunate. Somebody clip that one.
In my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. But no, I agree. I think Cloud Hop is really cool. I think the way Cloud just functions and there's multiple uses with the way it's spawned and everything. It's very fun pilled. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, like the mechanic, the Cloud Hop mechanic is so cool because it's a mix up on shield without actually putting you in shield stun. So it can be called out.
You know
it
what?
Puts on step play, which means there's more implicit mix-ups as a result of it being out. It's movement tool, which is also just fun to have more of. Like it's perfect. It's perfect. It's amazing. It's incredible.
I'm gonna show you something that you'll really appreciate. Do you know what a gravity jump is from Rivals 1?
Oh my god, I saw this nonsense. I saw this nonsense. It's where is this like where you plat drop double jump and then you get it again?
So like, it basically is like when you're in the air, you can like double jump cancel like down, and you can do it like off a plat or like during plat drop, and it gives you like this. It's for anyone listening, if you're familiar with the way double jump cancel works with like Yoshi, it's like you use this cancel that doesn't use your double jump to make your movement ambiguous, but you get to still have a good jump like Mewtwo and like be even more ambiguous on top of it, and it can carry your momentum like fully, and it can be like refreshed. And so on screen here, I'm going to be showing a clip of how you can use it to position very particularly with the hitbox being her up air, which is a kill move. And so being able to create really insane like traps and quickly reposition yourself and be like bam, and then like get you, or to quickly reposition yourself to make somebody whiff and use one of her like really like good like grounded options, or now it'll be a grab that she'll probably have. That's going to be really good.
Well, and off a platform, because it keeps your jump, you can actually get higher than you would have otherwise been able to.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other tangent I had about this was, in terms of her being unchanged, was like up air and up tilt and forward tilt are fucking huge.
Yeah.
And characters in the game don't really have moves this big. Like,
it's just
Frieren
locks, really.
Up tilt is one of them.
Yeah.
And then like
locks
forward tilt.
I mean, locks jab and
jab.
Like,
even his other stuff's not that big.
Well, forward air is pretty big. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, forward air is big too. Okay, you know what? You block something, but like Maple's up tilt is bigger than Claren's.
Yeah,
or not Maple's. Absa's.
It looks insane.
Is just as big.
Something funny that they showed too is like that when you get hit by the electric move, it shows your skeleton. So every character is gonna have like a funny little skeleton. So like you see Raster's little beak in his skeleton. Like it's so goofy. I love stuff like that. It adds a little bit of flair and like life to the game, where you're like, wait, that's so funny for like the spectators or someone seeing the game for the first time. But she looks really cool, like really cool, and I can just tell she's gonna launch really strong, like really, really strong.
I think it's cool to have strong characters
I think so
come
too.
out as DLC. I'm pro that. I know some people aren't. I'm pro strong DLC
There's
characters.
A threshold.
Yeah, maybe not like OP broken, but I'm pro like pretty good.
They don't need to be Steve, but like they can be like Joker. I think it's okay when it's Joker.
They can be like Craig.
Okay.
Here.
Like Corinne.
Could be like
Crag.
Yeah, fuck it. Make him like Craig.
Interesting.
That's who they're playing against.
Yeah,
you
that's
know
fair.
What I mean? Like,
well, she's gonna beat his ass. That's for sure. She's gonna grab him
honestly,
and go nair, up tilt, nair, up tilt, up air, bam! You're fucking dead, dude.
What do you mean? Nair's
awesome.
gonna be the easiest move to fucking flip our hug in the world.
No. You're gonna get hit up. You're gonna get thrown up into it. You can't do shit.
There's no way.
Absolutely, it's gonna be a thing. You're gonna be able to up throw, up tilt, nair. I'm calling it now. And like on God, I haven't seen a clip.
Tilt, it's GG.
It's GG. Yeah.
That's GG.
At 0, we're doing whatever we want. I've decided.
Yeah, that's all of a sudden that's my main.
Up throw into like F tilt 1 and to grab again. Like, we're cooking.
God.
I'm so excited. I have on my life, if anyone's seen this, I've not seen any gameplay of her. This is just like what I want. I'm so excited.
She's very cool. She's very so cool. I think she adds a playstyle that's not in the game at all. And I think one of the things that is most fun about her is that she has a very high like skill expression level, where she has a lot of stuff that she can do where if you invest into it, you get rewarded for like being a solo main.
Yeah.
And I think having stuff like that in a game like this is really dope.
Yeah, I personally am very excited. Back in the day, there was a point when I was working with Penguin where like I was playing Absa to help like explore concepts and test ideas at like varying skill levels and stuff. And Absa is definitely one of my favorite characters. I never like really played her, but I've tested and learned so much about her that it's just like, what a cool character. I think she is going to be a great time, and it's going to give what a lot of people want into this game like as an option. But speaking of our next little topic here is going to be this upcoming patch with our new seasonal event, the food fight event.
Yeah, Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri is Zetterburn. Then we
I
got.
can't believe they added Waffle House.
Well, it's just like it's
out
I
of
don't even know if
pocket.
it's like specifically waffle. I feel it's just like diner, like waitress Mabel, but like it's Waffle House.
She's got
yeah.
waffles.
Yeah, she's got waffles on her. And
then Los Pollos Hermanos Raster.
Yeah, Los Pollos Hermanos
it's
Raster.
so clear.
Yep.
Also,
Yep.
he looks like Guy Fieri and Chester the Cheetah at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know how they accomplished that. That was so cool.
He's both.
Yeah.
And then root beer float or cane.
Oh my god, I can finally say this. Wait, no. I can finally say this. Have you ever been so thirsty that you could drink an Orcane?
That's crazy. I wish you would have kept that in the drafts. That one didn't deserve to come out. No.
Yeah. Come on. You've never been so thirsty you could drink an Orcane. Like now.
No,
now,
I did never have been so thirsty.
Now
I'm
it's
kill an animal.
A god.
Yeah, kill a god.
I'm just saying. We've all been there.
Do they blend it? That's crazy. That's
God.
Someone said, "Where's my gay event for June?" That's so true. Rivals of their devs.
That's cool. Don't worry. We're a little teaser, but here in the Zcast, we're planning something fun that'll be announced soon. So keep an eye out for that. But anyway, this event is super chill, and I think it's fun. It's not like any super on trend thing. This is obviously something they cooked up, and you could tell they had fun cooking it, and that's what matters. Like the trailer is awesome. We'll link this in the description again as well.
And they're having like a combo contest as a result of it, which is also sick.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Is like there is a combo contest. I believe. Let me get the hashtag here. Let me pull this up here for you guys. This is a combo contest that if you submit a really cool clip by June 30th and use hashtag Rivals Food Fight, you can win a bunch of prizes for like in-game stuff. They showed some of the Olympia Evo merch as well that I'm assuming will be prizes as well. So a lot of cool stuff like that. So be sure to post some of your sick shit. I encourage everyone to post it, and this is a great time to just share the game that we all love and have a good time. This next week is going to be really fun.
You could win Slade the Shark when he comes out in October. You know?
Well, actually, every character is free in this game, fun fact, which is really cool.
You could win all of Slade the Shark skins when they come out in
That's
October.
definitely what it's going to be.
That's so, that it has to be. It has to be.
Yeah.
Guys, help!
Yeah. Yep.
Help! I got off work.
Yeah.
I texted Zeke. I was like, has the character been revealed? And you said, yep. And I knew by the lack of notifications on my phone that it was not Slade the Shark. Nobody texted me.
I literally said, yep. And I was like, go watch it. And she's like, oh no. And she was like, what the fuck? It's over. It's over. I told you.
Sad.
They said no Dungeons character. They said it.
No, I'm coping. I said my new theory. This is a good one. This one's full hopium. I've cooked it to perfection.
For Christmas?
No, okay. This is he's coming out in October. And this is why.
Candy corn shark Slade. I see it.
Keep going.
October.
Yeah. Okay, so this is why he's coming out in October. Because they were cooking a brand new character for this year. They were cooking a brand new one, right? One that nobody's seen before. Not even a Dungeons character.
Okay.
But what happened was, after Dungeons came out, they saw how popular Slade the Shark would be.
Okay.
Right? And the original release schedule was supposed to be Edalus, Olympia, new character Absa at the end of the year as like the big hurrah. But when they found out how wanted Slade the Shark was, they were like, oh, we got to move him up. Yeah. In the development cycle, like they moved up Fleet, right? Because Fleet was like, it had to be moved up because Dungeons came out later, whatever. So what they did was they're like, okay, well, we're going to move Absa from the Christmas slot to the third slot to give us a little bit of extra time to catch up. So that we can have Slade, who's very popular, as like the big cap off at the end of the year.
Right.
To get everybody back into it.
Yeah, but like it's gonna be Lorena or it's gonna be like Sylvanos. Like
no, Lorena's next year. I already know that.
No, they're gonna bump her up. No, you know why they're
Fuck
gonna
you,
do it?
man.
They're gonna delay it because I heard my amazing idea of giving him
Oh
limit charge.
no.
They're gonna give him limit charge, and
He
they're
already
trying to
has
balance
limit
it.
charge.
What are you talking about? I don't have limit charge.
I'll do that in a day. I can do that in Unreal. I'll give him limit charge.
I just want to run away in limit camp. Is that so wrong?
So that's my hopium copium.
Yeah.
Is that the release order on the back end changed? They move Absa up because obviously they've been working on her for a long time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they were able to scoot her up from the end of the year, so they could scoot someone else up, and then the new character will come out with Lorena next year.
Yeah.
And everyone's gonna be happy. We're all gonna have a little parade, and Slade the Shark is gonna come out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah. But you know, what's really cool is with this new season starting, right? That means we're getting this big patch that they've been teasing for a while now.
That's true. That's true.
And most notably, they've confirmed that they've been looking at Zetterburn. And I'm excited to see what that's going to be. It'll be this next Tuesday that launches with this event on June 3rd. Thank you. I was like counting the days. I was like 3rd, yeah. So June 3rd, also the same week as the fucking what's it called? The Switch too. So we get new event for this.
We already called you a scab
patch,
for that. What do you mean?
New and we get fucking Deltarune, which I'm gonna geek about later in our media of the week. Anyway. But the patch is coming, right? So, you know, you cooked up a good idea that I really like. And what I want to do is we're gonna do one change for each character for this patch this next week. Okay. So let me pull up
pull up like a character list.
I'm gonna pull up the tier list
character
thing.
by character.
Yeah.
Also, I think let's do one mechanical, like one sweet, like mechanic-based change as well. We'll do one of each, and we'll include a mechanic.
Okay.
Patch day bingo. This is not patch day bingo.
No. We're not doing bingo right now, but we'll do.
I would temper my expectations significantly if it was patch day bingo.
Yeah.
No, this is gonna be one change that like we personally want for every character.
Yep. Okay. Here we go.
Okay, so Absa added to the game. That's a pretty big one.
Yeah, pretty big one. Yeah, big fan. But we gotta wait a little bit longer for that one. Let's do one more month. Right.
Let's start with the mechanics change.
Okay, mechanics change. Right.
Do you have anything now from like a mechanic standpoint? One thing that you feel like stands out that you would change?
Yeah, 100%. Some form of floor hug adjustment, whether it be more things being given auto floor hug as an option. And that just becoming more normalized. Because right now, like a funny thing that's been happening is people being like, what are all the things that can be auto floor hugged? And I'm like, I don't know that list off the top of my head now.
There's a couple.
There's a couple. And it's like, I actually don't know the list off the top of my head. And it's really easy to forget some of them too. Because of just how fast the game is. And it's like hard to discern like if a move is or isn't sometimes that you can literally forget. And so like normalizing that more, or this is kind of 50-50. Like I either want this or I want them to make like my suggestion I mentioned last week that I put in the form, which is like floor hug lockout on more actions. So things like spot dodge and like whiffing parry and like during like smash attacks, you know, like you
like
can't fucking
lag.
like big end lag for things. You know, it doesn't have to be on every single move that's whiffed, but it could be like when I do Dacus with Olympia, I don't think I should be allowed to floor hug. I just don't. That shit's busted. And like I'll literally do it and then do that and you go think and hit you or grab you and it's like, well, that looked stupid. And it was like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like, it's not fun. Yeah, it's not fun for either player. And something in that vein involving ASDI, auto floor hugging, all that stuff like that. I want to see some sort of change come to.
Yeah, I'll say something different just because I don't want to say the same thing as you. But I think from a mechanics standpoint, something that I would like to see, and this would be, I guess, more of a sweeping change than well, okay, I'm going to give two things. Because one of them's more of like a sweeping change, and then one of them's an actual mechanic.
Okay.
The actual mechanic I would like to see implemented is that you can air dodge up and wave land on platforms, like in HDR.
Yeah, I know. That's never happening, but yeah.
Love that. Yeah. It's so convenient. And I think it disincentivizes camping because you decrease the amount of time it takes to get on a platform and kill somebody. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it increases advantage state as well by just again decreasing the amount of time it takes to get on a platform and then cover tech options.
So does it
It
actually
seems to be
decrease
the way that they're
time
going.
if you just like? I mean, I guess you have to reach your apex of your jump, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're like if you're doing it the way you have to do it now, you have to like get above the platform with your jump and then wave dash down. Whereas in HDR, you just wave dash up.
You know, with the
just
dynamic
air dodge
UCB,
up,
you can
and
be inside the plat and then do it, and so it's a little faster.
so cool.
Yeah.
Just let me
so
press
cool.
up.
Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
So that would be just like a little mechanical change that I would like, that I think would just only have positive benefits, but maybe someone disagrees with me.
I do, but you can keep going.
That's fine.
We've talked about it enough. It's cool.
I don't like you, so no. The more sweeping change that I would like would be to see more aerials come in at around like -7, -8.
Oh yeah, like on block.
On block, yeah. And so having some like some sort of sweeping change that added that little bit of, it would be just like end leg that made the moves a little bit worse on block.
Yep.
Because you don't even need to take damage away. You don't need to fuck with the formula any other way than that. Just add a little bit more end leg to certain like combo starting aerials. And that way it becomes, they're safe if your opponent like isn't ready, but they are not just like carte blanche safe, which so many good aerials just are now. And so when you get into that like -7, -8 range, they become grabbable. There's certain like wave dash out of shield options that you get, stuff like that. So I think more aerials in that range would push the game towards like a healthier defensive state. And then also it would make whiff punishing a little bit easier because there would be an extra 2-3 frames of end lag on certain combo starters that people are just throwing out.
Yeah.
And I think it would also help delineate the purpose of certain moves.
Yes.
That seem like they do everything right now. It would give them a little bit more purpose in like, this is when you use it, this is the risk you're taking, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense.
That's my take. That's my take on it.
That makes sense. Okay.
Isn't the game already in a really
we're not gonna do the questions right now. That's okay. We'll do questions after. Yeah, it's okay. We'll do questions later. Let's go down the line quick. Olympia change. One change. Go.
One change I would make for Olympia. I wouldn't want to nerf her anymore. I like where she's at right now.
I know my one change.
In terms of strength, you go and I'll think about it.
I want them to make it easier. Like the most frustrating thing that I have with this character right now is in every other game that has like an FADC input, like her down special, right? Is you can buffer it out of hit stun, and with how slow the startup is for her to get armor,
I see.
There are so many times where I'll do it just the littlest off, and especially when I'm playing online, where like I have the variable like 2 or 3 frames sometimes, depending on the server I'm playing on, right? And I'll be like, nope, my input, I didn't get it. And I've even done it offline before because I play so much online that those couple frames where it's like, I'll be like, all right, wiggle out and do it. And I'm like, I did it a little too fast. And now I'm just dying because I am just holding down and I'm dead. That is really annoying. And I just don't like it on a control side. That's my one change that I want.
Make up air just hit in one direction.
Good take. Yeah, that's a good take. Yeah. Up
and if you hit the back
hit.
Yeah, and if you get the weird back hit, make it send that way still, and it's just easier to combo off the back hit.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. I feel like that's okay. I'll live with it.
There are dangers of that, but I definitely agree with you that it should
there are dangers of it, right? And you would have to adjust the move a little bit, not to make it so that the back hit was just like a super consistent you always die sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think I think there's a way to be like, if you get the back hit, maybe adding it as sort of like a skill expression thing where it's like you're kind of going for the back hit, and so the DI is easier to mess up in that case, and then maybe you get it like a kill. right now it's like a 50-50 whether your whole life is over or not. So I feel like even if it's good, that's better. So,
I don't
and
even
I,
know
and I,
anymore.
and I
Up
think it
air
just
is the
makes more
enigma move.
sense.
It's
You
the
know what I
enigma
mean?
move.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like I think pushing the game towards consistency just feels good. And I don't mind having DI mix-ups on stuff like up airs, but when the up air is as small looking, like visually as Olympia's, it's really hard to delineate where you are in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Okay. Forsberg. You want to go first for Forsberg?
Forsberg, yeah. What would I change about Forsberg? I think Forsberg feels weak right now, and I know that is probably a
It's
hot
weird,
take,
right? Yeah, but
considering
no, you're
that.
right. Cake won.
Sorry,
I'm saying no, it feels weird, but because Cake won, but like
his
no,
Cake
he
won the
does.
tournament, yeah. But I feel like he's not that good. Um, not to say he's like unusably bad,
No.
but I feel like he's not like great.
Yeah.
So in terms of like a change I would make for Forsberg, I think I would want something that made him feel a little bit more like active in the game. So it might be like a combination buff and nerf to take some power away from back air.
Yeah.
To like disincentivize just retreating back air as a game plan generally. And maybe something like making neutral air a little more disjointed.
Okay.
Or something like that as like a more reliable like approaching combo starter.
In Rivals 1, we had a patch for Forsberg where he had what Mr. Blue, Bigger Mike, referred to as Africa forward air, because it was as big as Africa in real life.
Yeah, I don't want that. I think forward air is like an incredible move as is, which is why I said neutral air.
Yeah, no, I just a little memory popped in my brain that's like, oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, he did say that. But no, I get what you mean.
Giving him like a little more disjoint, or maybe even like a little bit more safety on specifically neutral air 1.
Yeah, I agree
Again,
with
to
that.
try and like open people up with it as opposed to just like retreating back air.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty much in the same vein. Make back air smaller. And I want them to make it so that the smoke release has approximately 10 frames taken off the lag of it happening. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to do that. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to bounce around with it and like wave bounce it. The fact that I just jump and go, huh, and it's just like, okay, that's so cool, bro. And then I get punched by Olympia, and it's like, my bad. I should just never do that. And it's just like, I don't know. It's one of those weird things. I think that would be a lot more interesting to see him like run around the stage and try to set up smoke stuff and like TP up and like there's lots of tricky stuff. And if you weaken a lot of his tools, then you can play around with stuff like that. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, you kind of make the tricky stuff matter if you make all of his like regular tools not good enough by themselves.
All right, next one. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna cut Rano's legs off. All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna cut him off. No, actual change. I really want them to do. If I were to pick one thing, I want them to. The thing I've talked about since launch is the disjoint of back air, where it's like if it's like X big, it's like literally half the size that it is, or have a hurt box halfway into it, like one or the other. It has to happen. It should have happened already. I think that's fine, because I think it's like if they do the overlay of the move where it's like it's not an actual sword, but it's like a disjoint overlapping the hurt box, I think that's fine, because then it can actually trade, which is like the thing that makes it annoying.
It's the best sword move in the game.
It's the best sword move in the game. It's insane.
Yeah, there are instances where it beats like Claire and F tilt. It's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah. That's my one change. What is yours?
Mine would be.
Oh wait, say it, because I'm gonna have a better one actually. But no, go ahead.
Mine would be, if you are going to die, that bubble should not stop you.
Oh, I wish it would pop. Like at a certain velocity, it just goes, and you just die.
You just go through it. Yeah.
What I want it to be, no. What I want it is like, when Buff's shield breaks.
Oh yeah. So you hit the bubble and then die anyway.
What I want is like you hit the bubble and then it pops and shoots you straight up and you die. I think that would be hilarious. I think that would be a great little flare. Because people are like, wait, what? And I'd be like, yeah, if you get hit too fast, you pop the bubble. I think that's so funny. But no, my other idea is
okay, go ahead.
One bubble or tongue per airtime. One of them has to have a lockout.
Yeah. That for me is not like a priority. over some other stuff, but I understand like where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I think when you said like the bubble pops, I'm like, what if you just like, I don't know why this went in my mind. I was like, what if a character just drown in the bubble?
Like, you know when Sonic
They
dies
just
in the
die.
water levels?
Yeah.
Just crumple over.
And then that's how they lose their stock, and the bubble just consumes them. I don't know.
That's like in
The
the
most
Dungeons and Dragons
insane-
movie when the blobs that like melt your body.
Yeah.
I forget what that shit's the cubes. Yeah.
The most insane, like intrusive thought I've ever had.
It's really funny.
Like, what if they just died if they hit the bubble?
All right, next one. You ready?
Yeah.
Zettermern's Nair has got to get smaller. It's just
big.
that's the one. I think it just needs to be smaller.
It's frustrating.
And it needs less total active frames. I think it should have more frames where it's like, hey, you can hit me like Claire in Nair. What a great way to do that. Let's do that to all moves like that. Big fan of that.
And can we make Shine just hit like foxes?
Whoa. That's not what you want. That's not what you want, and you don't know that.
No, but like I don't want it to hitting up no more. I don't want it hitting straight down no more.
Okay. Let's word that differently then. Let's word that differently. That is not what you want. I don't want that very clear. That is not what you want. What it needs to do
hit sideways.
It needs to hit sideways or make the top hit, the undershine, fucking DI-able. That's all you need to do. Because right now
you hit sideways.
Well, no. The problem is you literally can't DI it right now.
Well, also that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't even know. That's awesome.
Hit sideways. Like, how would I know that?
No, I know. The problem is that it's the omnidirectional, so like it hits like straight up or like slight this or slight this, and like it's this little fuckery. But you're right. It should hit a direction. Yeah.
Yeah, just make it hit sideways.
Yeah. Well, it's a circle. It's not an octagon or whatever the shape is. They
make
hit the
it
fucking
a fucking
pentagon.
square.
I don't
give a fuck. Like, just...
Me when the shine hits me, I got hit by the fucking pentagon.
The trapezoid caught me.
All right. Yeah, that's good. I think that nails it. Craig, you can go first on this one.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Why would I change out Craig? One thing.
Yeah, just one.
So hard.
Well, we can corroborate here. Like, do you want down air or up tilt? Which one would you like?
I want up tilt. Honestly, up tilt of all the moves that aren't floor huggable, that's the one that's not.
You want to know something funny? I had a conversation about this recently. Did you know that if you attack Craig up tilt like you're supposed to, you're actually negative.
Yeah, no, I know.
You literally get punished for doing it.
I do it. He can grab you.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants to. It doesn't matter. You attack and roll, or he's dash tagging you. It doesn't matter.
And then that's full combo.
And then you die. Yeah.
Yeah. Up tilt should be the floor huggablest move in the fucking game.
Yeah. And it should not combo into itself. Like they should do what they should do what they did to Forsberg to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that up tilt should not do what it does right now.
But like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could remove floor hugging from the game and I would still be like, you should be able to floor hug.
Like, that's the one move. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it feels like that's the move. And the fact that he can dash attack up tilt in a stupid chain that is just optimal now.
All right.
What are we doing?
I'm going to stand up for this one. All right. I'm going to stand up for this one. Trevor, if you ever put Falcon Stomp in the game again and it doesn't have a fucking sour spot, remake the character. Please.
There's like 9 of those. What do you mean?
But they all have sour spots and his doesn't. His doesn't do that. You just get hit by it and goes, all right, see you later. Like, you're going down there. Like, no, dude, no. You can't put Falcon Stomp without a sour spot. That's the point. That's why it's balanced. And also it's more interesting because you can like purposely hit the sour spot and do fun things. And it's like, but this movie you just go, oh, and it just fucking works, man. oh, and they just die, and it just combos into everything, and it, whether it's the ground or the air, it doesn't matter. It just does the thing, and it's like, oh, is it the most miserable move to get hit by in the game? Like, bar none, I think it's the most miserable move to get hit by.
I also think Craig's forward air should have a negative disjoint.
That's not a bad take, but I think he would be so bad if that was the case. But I get the feeling.
Fuck this bug, man.
I get that. All right. Orcane.
I would give him something. I'm trying to think of what I would give him that wouldn't make him toxic.
I hope you say something to give him, and I say the complete opposite. I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one.
I would make I think this is fairly conservative, but I think I would make the sweet spot on down tilt like a little bigger.
Okay.
I feel like there are instances where it looks like you hit it and then you don't.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I need them so badly to make it obvious that I'm auto floor hugging bubbles and I'm allowed to parry it, because sometimes I'm just not, and I can't there's no visual discerning to that. Like, there's the whole conversation that happened on Twitter this past week. Remrin made a funny post that was Loxodon drawn very, very funnily in MS Paint on a ledge, and it was like the got him GGs because it was
I saw that
on that. And it's like, what you can actually do is you can ledge dash and buffer like floor hug and like parry and stuff, but like visually it does not look like you can parry it at all. And I don't blame anybody. And hell, I didn't even know you could actually parry it. I literally thought you couldn't, because it doesn't look like you can
parry it.
Well, the issue is like when you floor hug it, you have to floor hug, parry, and then it's like, well, that looks not reliable. It's like really hard to like discern.
It's a little scuffed. It's definitely a little scuffed.
It needs to like, I need to be able to tell that I'm grounded.
You can also floor hug, shield a hit, and then parry the next hit.
But not always, because the bubble formation is random.
Well, no, it's not. They made it less random.
Yeah, but it
still is random. You have to get in early. You have to get in early.
But if you don't, then you're just in hell.
Yeah, then don't do it. You're in hell. You're bad.
I think it's not a hot take to think that no projectile in the game should put me in tick. Is that a crazy fucking take?
Projectiles should put you in hell. Add tick throws to the game.
Yeah. I just think visually it's hard to interact with bubbles. Both of the hitboxes of them are very awkward, and like they've made it a little bit better, but it's just one of those things that you're just like, oops, I got hit by it, and now I feel stupid now.
I think it's awkward by design though. Like,
but I hate it.
I feel like it's so hard to fix.
Okay.
No, I'm fully behind you, but how do you make bubbles not look like that?
Just a straight fucking line of bubbles. That's it. It's so easy. Instead of this nonsense of
like have it look like a geyser,
like a little woof, and it's just one little puff of bubbles. It doesn't need to go woof. That's it. Problem solved. Literally, like, hire me, please. It's so easy to solve this problem. This little nonsensical, like, it ain't the SpongeBob opening, the transition.
You said I hate whimsy. That's like...
It would also be better. It would also literally be better because it would be faster. It'd be harder to parry it. I'm caught. I'm just saying.
Let's go back to release when you just couldn't do it.
Whoa. Reel that one back.
And there was no ambiguity.
Let's rewind that.
You just couldn't do it. Yeah.
Let's rewind that one back. Okay.
Yeah.
Fleet.
What would I change about Fleet? I feel like she doesn't need anything crazy, but I would be very hesitant to nerf her.
I have one thing.
Okay, go.
I think that now that they've made down B and gotten rid of all the stupid from it, the invincibility and all that, now it's just a hurt box shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could give it a couple frames back now. I'm like, maybe not as good as it was, but a couple. I think you could do a couple, and I think that's very generous.
I'm fully on board with that. I dealt with flip kick for so many years.
Bad flip kick.
No, it's terrible flip kick.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Whenever
Coughing
Fleet
baby.
does it, I don't think I've ever been tilted that I got hit with a down B.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah.
If that was flip kick, I would have died like 9 years ago. So
yeah, that down special.
Yeah, that move doesn't tilt me in any way. So I think you could give it, a little bit less end lag.
Yeah, I think that's the one to do. I think that's the move that like could get a little bit of love.
Yeah. Okay. What would I do? I have to think of all of her moves.
If you can't think of one, I have another one. So if you
No,
need to
no,
tag, you know, phone a friend,
will,
like I got you.
I will think of one. Um, my heart is saying that down air doesn't need the sweet spot, like right in the bow.
No, she needs that. She needs that for floor hug. Yeah, she does need it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, she
okay.
definitely needs to be able
Okay,
to
I'll
have
switch it
that to
up.
deal
I'll
with floor
switch it
hug.
up then. I'll
Yeah.
switch it up. I want whenever I play her, and this is like this is my bias showing,
Yeah.
but I always want F tilt to do more than it
Shut the
does.
fuck up. That move is so good. All right, I'm
It is
taking
good, but-
yours away. I'm gonna give you one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the most common complaint that all fleets have is when her smash attacks get beaten, right? You know, there's the sweet spot distance where it's like the mid range from her, right? Where there's that sweet spot.
Yeah.
I think anywhere from there and close to her, it should beat moves. And then the moment it passes that threshold, it is now in like a normal projectile that can be beaten. I think that
I see her.
fine. I think that's the way you solve that problem, where it's like you don't have Rano being like no, and then they're like, well, fuck me, I guess
That would be
didn't have enough time.
really good, though.
I think it would. But I think it's
that
fine.
would be really good.
I think it's fine, and you can shorten it too, and then you can make it like you can tweak it from there. But I think that would make it that it doesn't feel stupid to be like, I'm gonna call you out, and it's like, oh haha, they mashed him any move at a hit stun, and now I didn't get it.
That's scary though.
And there's a way you could like visually show it too. I think there's some cool stuff you can do.
That's scary, man.
Yeah.
You say that, and I think about it, and I get scared. I see a fleet that doesn't lose to anything because of that. I don't know. That's scary.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's too scary for my blood.
Edalus.
But I respect it. Edalus. Oh, I would give him something fun.
Yeah.
I would give him something fun.
Mm-hmm. Something
like
whimsical.
Every second dash attack you could
Shut up. Shut up. That's the worst one you said yet.
No. Low key though, if he could grab out a dash attack, he'd be so fucking
Shut
good.
up. I literally was like, Trevor, you literally cannot let him do that. There's no way you could ever let him do it.
Okay, wait. Get on this. Compromise. All right. He can't wave dash out of dash attack, right? You don't hit anymore. Take it away. Right? But he can jump cancel grab out of dash attack.
All right, I'm going to give a real answer, okay?
No, that's a good answer.
No, it's a fucking stupid. It is a fucking stupid answer. It's a fucking stupid answer, and I'm not even going to humor it.
He'd be incredible. Yeah,
and he's already good. Why do you want a character that can unreactable go and grab you? Fuck off.
It's Ike. It's funny. People love it.
Anyways, I love getting run up shine grabbed. You're right. I just love getting run up shine grabbed. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think they need to address his F tilt. The inside hit has a very high tendency of people falling out of it right now. And I think it's very unfun when it's a move that when you're on ice is supposed to kind of help you with dealing with floor hug and stuff like that. And he's obviously designed in a way where like that's hard, but like I've had people fall out of the move a lot in this past patch and it's not fun.
I feel like down tilt does the same thing.
Well, down tilt is a multi-hit, like you can time it, so like it's kind of designed that way. But like F tilt just whoosh, and it just like doesn't fucking link.
But like down tilt 2 misses so often.
Oh, that's by design because that move combos into everything. Yeah.
Well, fucking
no, it's cool. It's okay. He could just dash attack, wave dash on hit. It's fine.
No, just dash attack, jump cancel, grab.
You can do that when you hit him.
Yeah, I know you can, but it's more fun.
Yeah. Anyways, locks it on.
Oh boy, what would we do? What would we do? What would we do? Because my heart says nerf jab. That's not what my brain says.
I've got a jab rework. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So the unfun thing, and I've workshopped this one. Okay. The unfun thing about fighting locks is like the 1-2 mini game, right? It's the same thing with F tilt. Like it's just annoying the mini game, right? What if we say fuck it? We give him the bad jab, but it's actually like a good one. You ever played against PM Charizard?
Oh God, yeah.
Hear me out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now
yeah.
it's consistent, and the percents you can floor hug it, and the percents you can't, and like it's done, it's solved. And this whole
Yeah,
like
that's just
this
it.
whole
That's
like
just-
bullshit of like what is gonna is he gonna job too? Is he gonna down till? It's fucking gone. Or you just don't let him cancel his jab. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the fuck you're going on about, I can kind of get behind.
I don't want to hear it after you said that you should let analysts dash that jump cancel grab. Fuck you.
That was a good change.
No.
I stand by that. One of us has made a character.
Crazy.
Beloved, by the way, beloved character.
Yeah, cheater.
Beloved, well-designed character.
Yeah, crazy work. Okay.
People don't know it like me. Okay, what would I change?
About locks it on.
Yeah, I feel like he needs such a sweeping change to be fun that it's hard to be like, what's the one thing? But I think
What if they canonically killed him? We just get rid of him.
they just murdered him. Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Forsberg
He
gets him
drowned in the
back.
Rhino bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would give him a new move. Like I would replace a move.
What move would you replace?
Forward tilt.
Yeah, I agree. The forward tilt is so I know what you want it to be already, so you don't have to finish that sentence. It's cool.
No, but like
Whoosh.
no, I don't want it to be that. Because that would be more annoying. Only cool if I have this.
Yeah.
But like give him like a thing where he hits you with his trunk.
Like he
forward
slaps
tilt.
you.
Yeah, he like trunks you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then it can still be big, but then it's not like super disjointed.
That could be funny. Yeah.
And then
I see
that
what you're
means
cooking.
the like nair neutral B jab mini game is less like fuck ass to deal with.
When you get like F tilted on the plat and stuff like that, yeah.
Well, no, but but
you
more
can
so
get
like
in.
when you can contest F tilt and it's not 2 hits and all of that stuff. And then you can buff other stuff because that move isn't so like head ass to deal with. And he just hits you with his trunk, which is also cool because he's an elephant.
We got a great suggestion from chat. Mr. Chicago Sago says, make his grab his trunk and double the distance. Give him a tether grab. That's right. Yep. That's it. That's what he needs. You're right.
So can we ban Sago from the chat?
Unfortunately can't. Yeah, guys, buy Pudding Frog, by the way.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
All right. Raster. One thing.
Oh man, this is another character that needs
love. He needs love, is what he needs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, you have to make something beat floor hug at like low percents. Something has to.
Couldn't tell you
Make
what
it F tilt. Fuck it. I don't care.
No,
Make it F
you
tilt.
don't want that.
Dude, he needs something. Has
he
to.
needs something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but you're
I don't
right.
know. Make it F tilt. Make it F tilt and make F tilt send out. That's my.
Yeah.
If it has to be one thing, that's what I'm making it. Like he just needs a move. Or you go the fuck ass crazy route and make back air beat floor hug, and that's insane. Like
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
that's not what you want.
No,
so that's why I'm saying F tilt.
Okay. I just want them in a nerf LB. That's literally it. The sweet spot. Sometimes I get upbeat and I'm like, you got it, sure, man, whatever. Sometimes you just explode. You just fucking explode, and you're just like, sure, man.
It shouldn't be that strong. It shouldn't be that strong.
I definitely have like gotten upbeat at like 60, and I'm like, oh.
If it catches you off guard,
I'm dead.
You have to be thinking about it a lot.
And that's not fun.
I think, but then like if you nerf that, you have to give him something.
Oh, you would give F clap an actual disjoint and like sweet spot again. That's what you would do. So the combos would go into F clap again. Yeah, that would be better. Because there's more nuance to that. Where instead of just like, and you fucking explode.
I feel like he needs more than that.
Oh no, of course. He needs a whole rework, and we're not going to get into that, right? But it's like,
he needs a lot.
If I was to pick one move that needs to be touched,
fine. Yeah,
it's got to be nerf LB.
Make F tilt beat floor hug.
Yeah.
All good.
We had a lovely conversation among some of the top players recently, and it was about like, what does Raster do when someone's just like running and shielding, and it's like in a position where you can't like grab it like comfortably, right?
Yeah. Nothing.
And someone said, "Oh, just F clap shield," And that was the funniest answer they could have given, because it's
That's crazy.
technically right, but it is such an awful choice in like the grand scheme of things. But it is so funny that it's like, this is where we've gotten to. That's what we're
funny
thinking about.
because you said it, and I was like, "There's no way that's true." And then I thought about it.
Yeah,
I'm
you're like, well, I guess that is right, but it's so stupid. That should not be the answer. Anyways, Claren.
What would I change about Claren? I'd give her the grab neutral B back from.
All right, well, the real answer is there's just no reason a tilt, whether it's up or down tilt, into neutral B should kill at 60. I don't know how you fucking. I don't know how you fix this shit. I don't know how you fix this shit, but that's gotta go. Like that is just such an unfun to interact with thing. Because it looks cool. That's the thing, right? That's the hard part. Is it looks cool.
It looks cool.
It's really cool. But when you get grabbed by Claren at 20 and then die because you're playing as wrong Gunshoe, Mr. Brad, and he just fucks on you.
He just ruins your life.
And you're just like, yeah, you're right. Actually, I did lose that game. You're right. My bad. Like.
Yeah, I think what I would go for, because I agree. That's something I've been saying for the last couple patches, is like, even though I think Claren's in an okay spot right now,
it's just an unfun thing to get hit by.
The neutral B thing is stupid as fuck. But everyone knows what my fantasy change is. I just want F tilt to hit a platform. That's all I want. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to hit the platform. I want to be able to wave dash F tilt and hit someone shielding on a platform.
Yeah.
I do want to play Marth. That's true. I do want to play Marth.
Insert Japanese line here. I
don't know if you can say that.
I can say that. That's what he does when he does side B and he speaks Japanese.
I don't know.
God.
Yeah, I think changing something to neutral B. I think changing it to the command grab, you get rid of it for sure.
You don't want to get hit by that into down air. You'll actually like die in real life.
I won't crash out.
You will get like up tilt, forward air, neutral B, DI mix. They jump, reach your DI, and down air you at like 40, and you'll be like, I'm the worst player in the world.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right, and last but not least, Maple.
The goat. What do you change? Because I'm in the camp that Maple's fine.
I think Maple is like super fine. I've been actually spending like this entire time we've been going thinking about like what would I even change?
Yeah. What would I guess maybe the most annoying thing that Maple does for me is the amount of time she can just spend fucking around off stage.
They made that a little bit harder already, thankfully.
I know, but I think I would nerf it more.
I don't even know how you do that.
It's annoying.
It is annoying. Yeah.
She just exists down there. They did nerf it though. I think my biggest thing would be like nerfing again the hitbox on up B, so it felt like it was contestable at the ledge consistently.
That's fair. I think I would change. Maybe I feel like they've been addressing like a lot of the up tilts that kind of just do everything, and I could see Mabel's up tilt getting hit. I could see that. That's probably my one. Yeah.
I don't even know if I feel like it needs
it. Doesn't need it, but again, it's like they like they did to Force Ruins, where it's like, make it not do what it does at 90. Like that shit's kind of dumb. When I get up to the 90, I'm like, I'm dead. Holy, I get hit on the Hodoja, I'm fucking dead.
You shouldn't have done that.
You shouldn't have fought the Maple. My bad. Woo, get tech chase. I'm dead. Like,
my bad.
Yeah, might be.
Well, the other Claren thing that we didn't mention was Pound Smash does not need to anti-air.
Oh, what a great take. You're so right.
Yeah, it doesn't need to do that.
I agree with that.
In fact, it shouldn't do that.
I think a lot of Smashes need that kind of address. Like, did you know Rano Upstrong hits the ledge, like ledge hangs?
Yeah, like it doesn't.
There's just no reason it needs to do that. It's okay.
And I feel like the only reason it does is because no one thought it would be a big deal, and then it's just really annoying. It's just really
annoying to be like, I'm gonna try to sneak by you, or like whatever. He's like, ha scoop.
And then when people know that they can do it, then it just gets abused. I had a Claren down smash beat a falling Edalus Nair.
Yeah. 100%
And it's
beats
like,
it.
what
Yeah.
universe are we living in right now?
Mhm.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah. It's weird. It's one of the hardest moves to hit in the game at times, but it's so massive that it's like if they set up into it and bait you into it, it's just like, oh, you die. And especially when you have tools like F strong already that do that, there's no reason for down strong to also do it. It doesn't reward precision at all, is like what it is.
And it just looks and feels weird.
Yeah.
To get hit by as an anti-air. It just shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for Maple, I think the up tilt, if you're going to hit something, probably that. I think the other frustrating thing Maple has is like, if she double dunks you, she shouldn't be able to get back.
That's real. No, what it should be is the reverse. The hitbox on forward air should be moved forward, like not moved forward to be bigger, but like shrunk the behind hitbox. Holy fucking moly.
She can't hit you from like back here.
The thing when they do the grab ledge and just
like
hit
the
you
double
with the back
inside
one.
you. Yeah.
Oh. Don't like that.
Yeah, you're right. That's annoying
it's actually too easy. Like it's one of those things it is too easy. And the fact that it does hit you out too, like there's no reason for it to do that.
Trevor thinks that shit is so cool though.
I know. And we're in Trevor's world. And that's why we have the Trevor counter here. Yeah, that's why we have the Trevor counter. Okay. That wraps up all of our wish lists for ranked, or not for ranked, for the patch. And now we're gonna talk about ranked mentality. Would you like to take the reins on the act of playing ranked and what it's like for the average person before we talk about how they should do it? It's like
for the average Andy. Well, so I guess here are my credentials? Question mark. Ranked grinder, but I was doing much like Zeus was and is doing, I was doing little personal things for myself of like get X character to masters.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up doing it with everyone, but like, I think I don't have Fleet or Raster.
Yeah, you did give up on Raster. That one's funny.
I gave up on Raster after a couple of days. I was like, this is not gonna happen. And I'm not as good as Zeus, so I'm not able to just will myself through it. But
yeah, the whimsy really does it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have gotten to master with most characters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And this was before Aetherian was announced or whatever. Yes. The only character I've ever been 1800 with was Claren. Back in the day. But regardless, I think the thing I've seen in your chat and my chat to a degree, and other people's chats to a degree, are people getting tilted about ranked? We saw a couple of like Nolt board suggestions coming in and being like, oh, like, can we hide people's elo when we go into ranked? And are there other situations for doing that? And and then people just like getting upset about where am I in ranked, or when I tell people for these like master challenges that I like throw my own elo, people are like, you're willing to do that? I'm like, yeah.
Bigger number, better person.
Yeah. So I think I'm like, I'm curious about, not curious, but I think the topic is interesting because it seems like people put a lot of stock in ranked.
Yep.
For a lot of games. And I think people get caught up in what the purpose of ranked is if you are a competitive player. Yep. So I'm curious what you think about this, and I think we can bridge into kind of what people's goals are and kind of branch out from there in terms of like what the purpose of ranked actually is.
The thing I always tell people is ranked is good for pretty much one thing. Well, two things actually. One, you're playing under some form of pressure, some stakes. You know, people care about these points, and people do, right? There's satisfaction that we gain from getting the points, higher number, the color of your rank, whatever it is. Like it's
dopamine farm.
It's a fucking dopamine farm, right? It's awesome, and I get it. I'm someone that's played all these kinds of games all the ways back as fucking Halo 2. I fucking get it.
Yeah.
And two is to get to play people that you don't normally play against, and getting exposed to different play styles and different characters you might not find. And like, you know, not everyone has the privilege of a Discord with a bunch of really good players and things like that, and like an easy way to matchmake. And that's literally it. I don't think it's really good for anything else, especially because you're playing online. and there's a lot of random variables, and you can run into somebody who maybe doesn't belong in a rank and blah 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 blah. But it's like those are the two things that it's like playing with some form of pressure and getting to play people you don't normally play.
Yeah, and I think when you kind of say those things, I want to like hop back to this like
Yes.
goals discussion of like what is
Yes.
your goal and what is your kind of relationship with Rivals of Ether? Because I think once you establish that, you can kind of like branch out into like what you're actually trying to do.
Yep.
Where I think there are likely, and I can't verify this, but I imagine it's true, is that there are people who play ranked in Rivals who have no interest in attending tournaments.
Yeah,
But
there
are
are.
still,
I mean, most notably,
but are still interested in like getting their rank as high as possible.
Yeah, I mean, notably, there are players like Boyko and Loxlord and such who really have no intention of attending any events and like trying to be a top player, who are very, very good and play ranked all the time.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about Boyko, because Boyko's been a tournament player.
Right.
Like I think that's a bad example. Like Loxlord as well.
Yeah.
But I think examples of people who like just exist
Literally
on
just
ranked
don't care. Yeah. Oh, I mean,
and are just like like grinders. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely exists.
And I think we assume that people automatically graduate into like tournament player once they hit a certain point. And I think to a degree that's true. Like there's instances in every single community around the world for Smash Ultimate of elite Smash grinders that started coming into tournaments and then started doing stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We even here, like we had fables about it. You remember the Zelda player on Elite Smash that like that person eventually started attending tournaments. So there is like an implicit degree of graduation. But for I guess if your goal is like I want to play ranked to achieve like the highest place on the rank leaderboard as possible, and I don't care about tournaments, your goals going into ranked are going to be different than someone who's a tournament player. And so if that is the case, I don't know if that's our audience.
I don't think it is, and I want to stress that like the thing like no matter what, when it comes to playing ranked, the goal that everyone shares is trying to get better and gain satisfaction from getting higher ranks. That is what a lot of people are doing at like the baseline, is like get good, rank number, get bigger. And like that's how most people experience ranked and like the face value.
Yeah, and I think it's also a tangible way to be like, oh, I improved because number is bigger now. Because I feel like it's hard to like quantitatively measure improvement as a concept, whereas rank gives you like a rough idea of where you are. So I think for people who are interested in like not going to tournaments but just playing ranked for the sake of playing ranked, how do you deal with like that stress? I think breaking it down based on that goal means that your efforts have to look a little different than someone who's entering a tournament, which means stuff like you're having a very consistent main that you play on ranked. Knowing players in your elo that you might be running into, like having strategies that work specifically on Wi-Fi, and kind of like consistency tools that make playing on Wi-Fi easier to rank up. And those are goals that would differ from someone that is going to tournaments, right? Pretty significantly. And so that's why I say, like, when we talk about goals and what you actually want out of it, you have to talk about that. Because if I tell someone who's going to a tournament to be like, oh, use a bunch of strategies that are specifically good on Wi-Fi and pick a character that you feel connects with you in a certain amount of delay so that you can like account for the variance that comes with that, that's a psychotic tip for somebody who intends on playing offline. But for somebody who is just trying to rank up in that way, you have to contextualize your experience by what the game is. And the game that you are playing is different than the one others are playing offline.
Yeah, I super agree. And I think like there have been times where like even some top players have played some people. And like this game, I will say, is not nearly as different online and offline. It's very, very, especially if you have a good internet and a close server, but not everyone shares that experience. And that's a big part of it, right? But there are certain things, you know, something like Rano needles are way harder to deal with online than offline. But even then, it's still hard. But online, it's, oh my God, it's so obnoxious. You know, you're in 3 delay, like you're just, and once you hit 3 and like you have more than 5 rollback, and it's just like, GG, you got it, bro. I can't, you know, needle boost being God's jump to heaven. Like you just can't react to it or anything like that anymore. That's where it gets rough, you know, but, I think it's very interesting that like that you know, if someone's goal is to just hit X rank, there's like very actionable, simple advice that you can give somebody. And like if that's all you want, you know, I've had people that come into my chat and are just like, oh, I just want to be gold, and I'm like, hell yeah, just do this and don't do this, and you will get to gold like magic. And you'll be like, oh my God. And I have people come into my chat every so often. It's like, oh, I hit plat. Oh my God, I hit diamond. Oh my, and it's just like they keep going and they're learning and growing and blah blah blah. And it's just like, but the goals and the skills you need to grow, it really depends on the scope of like how good and like what you're trying to accomplish really does matter. And like ranked specifically, I think has a very negative feedback loop in the way it's designed, and it's intentionally any ranked mode. It's not just rivals ranked, but I think Rivals Ranked especially shows this, because what happens, and you know, you mentioned earlier, like, why would you ever throw your elo? And it's because it's so fucking hard to get it, right? You get so little with a lot of your wins unless you get big wins, right? And then if you lose, you lose hella points if it's someone like
it's really easy to throw it.
And like, I mean, hell, Dan Fornace himself said, I lost 100 elo yesterday on Twitter, and it happens. Dude, I've done it. It happens. And it can happen at any rank. If you're you're not locked in, you're just doing whatever. There are so many times where I don't like play ranked in any capacity. I'm privileged in the fact that I can ping a million different people in a million different servers and play people.
I like playing ranked.
But I just play to get the funny points for the champion skins. And it's just like, whatever happens, I don't care. I'm just like going for goofy stuff. Sometimes I'll like practice some stuff, but it's like sticking around. And so it really comes down to like, what do you want to use it for? And committing to that is the big thing. Like, you can't let the funny number or the emblem or the whatever change the way you feel. And if it is changing the way you feel, you need to reflect on why. Why do you care so much if that does not align with your goals? And I've seen many a good players, who I will not name for obvious reasons, have very serious crash outs about ranked, of playing X person X times in a row, getting sniped, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, there is a lot of negative feelings that you can get from the experience. And it's not in your control besides trying your darndest to win. That's it.
I think there's a funny example of when I was doing the Olympia to Masters thing that I streamed.
Yes.
I got sniped by Sophie and Dom for like 3 hours.
Yes, you did. And it was awesome. Yeah, that was
great.
When
the rank disparity wasn't huge, so I was losing a bunch of points every time I lost to either of them.
Yep. That's awesome.
So I think I think this is where the Venn diagram meets.
Yes.
Of like tournament players and maybe people who are just playing ranked for the sake of playing ranked.
Yeah.
In terms of when you see someone who's a higher elo than you, recognizing what that means. Because I think a lot of people, their brain goes to, this person has higher elo than me, they are better than me.
Yep.
Which is not true.
No. There is so much luck in ranked. I have played many a people and been like, you're this rank? Oh, hell yeah. Thanks for your elo, bro. Like, that's awesome. And I'm sure people feel that way the reverse too, where you're like, you're this rank? What's going on?
Or you're playing my like 1350 Maple.
Yeah.
That has like 1 tournament sets because like I'm doing a bit.
Evil.
But like I think the biggest thing is like recognizing what a higher elo means.
Yep.
And what I want to break that down to is like, does it mean that someone has achieved wins more consistently? Yes, likely that's what it means. But it doesn't mean that they are better than you automatically, or they're as good as you, or that they have you figured out, or that the matchup is figured out, or that they have all of this stuff.
Yep.
What it means is that they win more consistently than you do.
Yep.
Which is fair. They may do that.
Yep.
but that doesn't mean they're better than you.
No. No.
And
Not at all.
so what you have to approach it from this perspective of, okay, what do people in platinum tend to do? What do people in diamond tend to do? What do people in masters, Ethereum, whatever, tend to do? What tends to be the difference? Because none of these players are perfect.
Yes.
Right. And I think it's easy to be like, oh, I'm in gold and I'm against a diamond player. And that means they're like a flawless player.
Yeah.
It's not what it means. People shit on diamond players, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
People shit on masters players.
Yeah.
Masters players shit on each other. Ethereum players shit on each other. You know what I mean? Like, players are better than each other. And so I think coming at it from the perspective of, okay, this person's in platinum. What are people in platinum, like skill wise, where are they at? In terms of consistency, they typically have this down, this down, this down. In terms of inconsistency, the difference between plat and diamond is maybe like this deficiency or this deficiency.
Yep.
And being able to identify, okay, this person's better than me, but what are the likely areas that they're still like struggling with? Because they will be struggling with some. And then part of that, like building consistency, is being able to identify those areas as you're playing the game.
Yeah.
And so I think it is shifting your mindset from a perspective of, oh, this person is better than me because they're ranked higher.
Yep.
To this person is likely more consistent than me right now, but that doesn't mean I can't win at any time.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And I think like a lot of people just equate, like one of the things that I like to talk about is like, it's easy to get to a rank. It's hard to stay at that rank. And if you can actually stay there, that is proof of improvement. But there are so many times, like with the Rivals Academy, the amateur series, right? You know, that people will have sometimes like just hit like masters, the cutoff, right? And people are like, why is this person allowed to play? And it's like, they hit masters yesterday and won one set. I don't care. They didn't win 5 more sets and stay there. If they did, they'd be fucking banned, right? And like, my favorite one is like in week 1 of it, there was somebody who had this happen and then immediately lost like 2 games. They're like, but they made it to master. And it's like, they literally insta dropped. You don't even actually count as being in the rank until you win a set. So like, it doesn't even matter. It literally doesn't matter. Yeah. And like in most games, when there's not D rank protection and stuff like that too, like the skill in staying in that rank is more important than getting there. It's because getting there is a level of lottery especially in team games, right? But when it's stuff like this, it's just like, can you have a better like probability of winning versus losing in the current rank and like with the people who are playing at this time and blah, blah, blah. And that's a big part of it. There's so many ways to gamify all of this. And you see it all the time. You see it all the time in every game. Oh, these are the best hours to queue, or these are the hours when this is when these people VPN and show up on this game. And it's like, it's tough. And in Rivals, it very much is like, there are peak hours where it's like, you're going to find a couple more people or like a more variety at certain ranks. But once you reach a certain rank, you're fighting the same 10 people. And until you can beat those 10 people, you are sitting there. And in certain regions, it's like 3 people.
Oh, in Seattle, like you fight 15 people. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Which is fine, right?
Yeah,
like, and
exactly.
I think when you get to that point, I actually like it even more because it takes it out of rank now.
Yes.
Right? Because now you're learning against specific players. And I think coming from the perspective of, okay, for the people who play often in my region, if it gets down to like 15 people, it actually flexes your ability to learn and adapt on the fly because it's not just one and done every time. Yeah. Which I also think is why people can get tilted in ranked. When it's like one and done and you don't get a rematch or whatever. So funny. And you never see that person ever again.
Shout outs to Music always closing his game after he beats Billy. That's always awesome. I love that.
So funny.
That's awesome. Yeah. Love both Music and B-Bats. You guys are great.
But I think I think that is definitely like where you bridge the gap in terms of like just ranked into actually learning how to play the game.
Absolutely. When you get that consistent like, people that you're finding,
players that you play against, because it forces you to get better if you want to keep, ranking up.
Yeah.
But I think back onto that like perspective of how do you enter like into a ranked match and feel okay about it, and then what what is your goal when playing a ranked match, especially as a tournament player? If we move to the other side of the Venn diagram.
Yep.
Because while it is fun to be like, oh, I won in ranked and I have the points and whatever.
Or I beat so and so. Oh my god. Like.
Yeah, I beat a lot of people I'm ranked below.
Yeah.
Is what I'll say.
Same. Yeah.
And I believe it. And I think partially it's because we don't play that much ranked anymore.
No, exactly.
You know, like I was top 50 when I was playing it a lot, and you were probably around top 100 or so.
Yeah.
But the idea is when you play a game to practice,
mm-hmm.
and that's what ranked is, right? It's practice with a little bit of pressure thrown in. What is your goal?
Exactly.
What are you trying to do when you hop on? Yep. Because this goal of I want to rank up and do better is so amorphous that it's impossible to engage with in any meaningful way.
The mistake that most people have is equating winning to improvement when it is not linear like that. There are going to be sets that you play where you're like, wow, I didn't win, but I felt productive in improving this thing I was practicing. And it's like, oh, you know, it might not have even been closer, but you felt better about it. Or it was like you felt like, oh, you know what? I was hitting more of I was hitting more back airs. And you know what? Like I didn't get what I wanted off it, but I was hitting more of them. And that gives me more confidence and like feeling productive from the experience. That's the thing. But what happens is like people try to do this and then they see -10, -15, and it blows up your brain. And it's like, it is so dopamine, serotonin filled. And it's just like, it really is about like reminding yourself when you're playing. It's like, what?
You have to divorce yourself from the number.
Completely dissociate from it. It does not define you, your skill level, or anything. And it's tough because a lot of people do care about it. And it's fun being like, oh, I hit masters. And like, absolutely. Like you have to, when you are going to play, like the other you that's just like, I'm here to practice, needs to turn on. And the other part of you, you got to cope with it. You got to cope with it because you can't turn it off because you're human and you care and you want things, right? But you got to deal with it. You got to be able to deal with those emotions and redirect yourself and not just get caught in the trap of like, oh my God, dude, if I lose this game, I'm going to lose like 20 points. This guy is so bad. Oh my God. And it's like the crash that is happening. And it's like you're spiraling. It's over. Like you got to be able to deal with it in the moment. And it happens. I mean, hell, I have sometimes where I'm like, I can't believe I lost to that guy. Oh my God.
You can watch me crash out against Fargo
live
on stream.
I love crashing out against Fargo. Hell yeah.
I didn't know it was Fargo.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you didn't know.
If you go watch the VOD, I said this guy's neutral is awful, but he hits tippers like he's Spargo. That's what I said while playing Spargo.
Yeah.
I lost my fucking mind.
Yeah.
But like, I think you're spot on in terms of having a goal about coming in of what you're trying to do, because what I always tell people is winning cannot always be the goal. Especially when you're practicing. Yeah. Because winning doesn't teach you anything about getting there. There's nothing in my goal is to win that has the content of what it takes to win. Does that make sense?
Yeah. A lot of people don't know how to internalize why they won. That's the skill that they have to. And like by just being like, okay, I got to win or I'm failing. Like don't know how to internalize why they won, how they won.
No, but that's what I mean, right?
Because this goal of like,
yeah.
We're on the same page.
This goal of like, I want to win has none of the content of what it takes to win. And so when you try and break down, okay, I want to win, that's my macro goal.
Yep.
What are the micro goals that are indicative of you working towards winning, practicing, getting good at this situation, getting good at this situation, and recognizing that actually none of those things are winning.
Yeah. Yeah, winning is the byproduct, always, is the way I always like to put it.
It's always the byproduct, right?
Yeah.
Winning happens as a result.
Exactly.
And I think this comes into tournament play. So I'm going to get a little bit off of course, but what I always tell people in my fourth performance groups, I say the tournament is the celebration.
Yes.
It's the celebration of everything that you've done until that point. It's the celebration of all the work you put in, all the practice you put in. Now you get to go to a tournament and you get to celebrate by showing off what you did.
I think they said that in Haikyuu.
I probably stole it from that.
You probably did. I think they did.
That's so ingrained in my psyche. It's so
good though. It's great. That's a great way to look at it.
Because again, celebrating does not mean winning.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's an
And
opportunity.
it gets into that idea of showing up and doing your best.
Exactly.
Playing the best that you know that you can play and celebrating the work that you put in.
Yeah.
That is still not fucking winning.
No.
It can be winning sometimes, and it's great if it is.
Yeah.
But it's not always.
Yeah, it won't.
And so with that in mind, how do you contextualize practice from the perspective of, okay, I want to celebrate what I've done instead of feel like dog shit about it?
Yeah.
And when you just play ranked over and over and over for the purpose of winning, I'm sorry, but when you go to a tournament, you're going to feel like dog shit about it.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's just the way it's going to be. You are absolutely correct that like treating it as like this is an opportunity to celebrate the hard work. And you might fail, but that's part of the process too. And it's like you will in some way, shape, or form fail. Even if you win,
and
you'll be failing along the way.
You have to fail. You have to fail.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. Like the reason why Cake won Combo Breaker so well was because he lost so hard in winners initially. Like that was the like lock in. Like you got to try harder. You got to show you can do it. This is your chance to prove yourself. And it's like it's pressure, and it's a lot of pressure, but it pushed him to push through. That's what it is. And it's like, not everyone passes that test. Not everyone succeeds in that moment. And a lot of people historically have failed in that moment.
Yeah. And I think the other thing I tell people is you can win and fail.
Yes.
And I think that fucks with people heavy.
Oh, that's a great conversation. I love that one.
Especially in the context of ranked.
Ooh.
Especially in the context of ranked. You can win and still have failed yourself. Because if you are just, again, playing ranked and going against people who are like the same or lower ranked than you and just like back to back to back winning against people that you know that you can beat using the same strategies that you've been using, not expanding on anything, and just like when you get hit with something, just being like, oh, I can afford to get hit with that. I don't need to learn it.
Exactly. Yep.
You're failing yourself.
Complacency. Yeah.
You may win in those moments, but you have failed to do anything. And when you go to a tournament, or try to show you, there's nothing to celebrate because you didn't actually fucking do anything.
Yeah.
What are you going to show up and be like, oh my, I got so many ranked wins. I'm on a 20 game win streak. Who gives a fuck, man?
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Yeah.
And so I think that fucks with people pretty heavy is this idea of you can fail and win and you can lose and succeed.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you have to fail. You have to. Not even oftentimes.
Absolutely have
100% of the time, you have to. Yeah. It's the only way for you to know how to get better. Because getting better when you are farming everyone is so hard.
It's actually really hard.
People don't understand that. And I think I have a unique perspective on this because there was a while when I was the best player in Alberta at Ultimate by a lot.
Yeah.
It was when Dora and Luke weren't here. Yeah. And it was hard to get better. And like Silver was having the same problem with it when everyone retired. Yeah. And it's what happens when you're in a small region. Yep. If you are the best player and you are going every week and dominating with what you have, it is so difficult to get better because the people that you are around don't push you. Yeah. No, and that's a hard pill to swallow too. Is like you have to go beyond your bubble now, and like it's beyond just the game. It's like talking and experimenting and like just being creative. It's a whole different conversation about like effective practice. Yes. Yes. But like even in the case of HDR, like Alberta was good at HDR. Part of the reason they were good at it was because I was unbelievable at it. But part of the reason I was as good as I was at HDR was because I played Raven King and like other people for hours at a time. Yeah. And because I got as good as I did, it forced other people to raise the bar and you know yada yada yada. The scene gets stronger. But none of that happens if we don't reach out of our bounds. Exactly. And that's why ranked is so good, because you never know who you're gonna find. And that's what I mean. Then when you see someone higher elo, it's not, oh fuck, they're better than me. It's, oh great, I get the opportunity to learn. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And it is really the fixation on points versus opportunity, because you might lose this set, but losing the set might make you win the next 5 more if you really take it the right way. It makes you better. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever sat down this is not to shit on anyone, but if you've ever sat down at a friendly setup at a tournament and just dumpstered whoever sat down for 2 hours,
yeah,
it stopped being fun.
yeah.
It does, and I'm sorry.
I get it.
That doesn't mean I don't want to play with you, but also like it's not the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah.
Which is okay. This is not to try and discourage people from playing friendlies because I think it's great.
No, it's not. It's just that like it's important that like at a certain skill level you have to go beyond, and you need to be willing to challenge yourself even if you're the best one in the room. That's what it is.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
And I think part of even like staying on top and maintaining a high rank is finding the opportunities in games that you're dominating to improve anyway. Yeah. And this is the way to ensure that you can win without failing without failing yourself. Is even if you get a 3-stock, get a 2-stock, whatever, finding the opportunities where it could have been a little bit better.
Exactly. It's the little things that you can take from it and feeling productive.
That is on you. Like it really is on you to point that stuff out to yourself.
Exactly. Awesome. I think that is a great little wrapped up bow of how to put that. Is like
the only
push yourself.
other thing I'll add.
Yes.
Yeah, push yourself for sure. I'll add one more thing just because this is something I like and this is more of like a tangible skill that people can take away. Oftentimes when I play ranked, and this works for me, it might not work for everyone, but I have a very hard time implementing ideas that I have from ranked game to ranked game because Wi-Fi makes it hard for me to like conceptualize how they're working. And I think I have this worse than a lot of people, but on Wi-Fi, my processing time for like decision making is significantly slower. Yeah. And so even on like a subconscious level, I go for different options than I would go for
my
offline.
God. Yes.
Because my brain doesn't register them as possible.
Yeah. I see.
Right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like
see, what's
it's
funny
really
is
hard
I'm
to
literally
explain it.
the opposite. But I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like when I'm at home, I'll do anything. I'll do the craziest thing. But when I'm in tournament, it's the opposite for me. But I know exactly what you're talking about, like having worked with a lot of people. But I'm saying
like at home, I don't see it. Yeah. Like if I'm playing ranked, I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my brain is like, oh, you can't do that. And then I'll go play offline. I'm like, what is this crazy option I've never tried before?
The inspiration hit. Yeah.
That just, but it's because like the processing time is different and your brain like recognizes patterns. And again, this gets very complicated, but I'm saying this is what happens to me. Yeah. And it's the reason why I've been notably bad on Wi-Fi forever. And Zeke can attest to this.
Ooh,
I am notably worse.
My Bowser? Oh, my Bowser's sick against you. Yeah.
Notably worse online than I am offline. More so than I think average on average you would be. Yeah. And that's my cross to bear. Yes. But what I like to do is when I've noticed something that I would like to implement or get consistent for something like ranked to start trying it out, is I will go and play 3-ish games against bots offline to get used to being in the situation and like landing it in in an environment where I can react. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where I can recognize it, implement it, react to it. And then when you go back to ranked, you can now do it without the reaction element because you've built in the muscle memory to know what the situation looks like and go for it.
Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense.
And so what helps me a lot is when I'm like, I had this when I was doing the Edalist to Masters run that I was doing. I was like, I'm getting in all of these edgeguard situations where I feel like I can't react to what the opponent is doing and I should be able to just kill them. And what I did was I went offline, had a bot like set up off stage in a bunch of different situations and just like covered them back to back to back to back. Yeah. Just based on reactions. It wasn't even like a setup. It was just like reaction, just see what you can do. And when you get used to doing it offline and get used to like what works and what doesn't, then you can go offline and it takes that reaction piece out of it where you now don't have to think about what you're doing or react in the way that you're like building the combo. You already know what it is and it makes playing online easier.
100%. No, that makes perfect sense. And it's like, it's hard to like kind of conceptualize opportunities like that when you're like under pressure too. So like having that process of like going back and forth is like almost like taking something analog and making it digital and like going back and forth as like an idea. Like that's what you're
playing
doing.
against bots. Like I
don't encourage a lot of people to do it, but I definitely think that there are specific scenarios that you can practice with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about
That's
this.
a conversation in itself that we do not have time for.
I play against bots regularly.
I know. I can tell.
And it works. It's like it's awesome.
But yeah,
I really like it.
I think like the balance of like the goal is to try test new things while under pressure.
Yeah, I think it's the perspective of what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah.
Okay.
I think that is a great little wrap up of our final little topic there of what kind of mentality and how to go about using ranked, and not just for rivals but for any game really. I encourage you guys to kind of to build off of that, because we talked about a lot of stuff, so be sure to give that one a full listen to again. I encourage anyone listening to it, whether it's live or anyone who listens after.
And I mean, this is applicable to more than just this, right?
Exactly.
Like I got I got Grandmaster in Marvel Rivals. Like I was very high rank in Splitgate. I got Immortal in Valorant. Like I've been around the bush in ranked games, okay? I've been in the top 1%
been
of
around
like a
the
billion
block is the way
games.
that sentence, how that analogy
Been
goes.
yeah, you're right.
Not
you're
around
right.
the
Mine's
bush.
better.
It's beat
Mine
around the
little,
bush is what you were mixing
mine
up
sounds
with.
a little gay, and I think that makes it better.
True.
Many people are saying this.
Okay. Media of the week. So you've been sick and you watched a butt ton of anime.
I watched a fuck ton of anime.
Yeah.
This is I don't typically watch a bunch of anime when I'm feeling well, unless it's something like I'm really engaged with.
Yeah.
So what I do is I save it all, because now, like in the modern era, anime comes out in just like 12, 13 episode seasons. And usually there's only 26 episodes or whatever. So I just save them all for when I get sick. And then I just binge for like 3 days, just anime.
Yeah.
So I watched all of Kaiju number 8.
Fun
I watched all of Solo Leveling.
Oh my God. Or farming.
And then I watched the first half of Frieren.
Oh, Frieren. Yeah, Frieren. Oh, Frieren, fuck yeah. That show is awesome.
That's the 3 things I watched.
You need to finish that.
Dude, I cry every episode.
It's so good. Oh, it's the best thing since sliced bread.
I saw that Madhouse animated it, and I was like, it's
instant dub.
It's on site. So I wanted to talk about all 3.
Yeah.
Because they're all popular. What I found out is they're all quite popular.
Frieren was in the debate for anime of the year. Like the fact that Solo Leveling won was like people were pissed.
Solo Leveling beat Frieren?
It's all fucking media garbage. It's it's just like it's
That's
like the Oscars. It's meaningless. It's actually meaningless. It's all rigged. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about all of them because they're all very popular.
Yeah.
And I have feelings about them.
Yeah.
I didn't love them.
Okay.
Well, okay. Kaiju number 8 is fine.
Yeah. Oh, it's fine.
Nothing,
yeah. Oh, it's fine. It's nothing special at all. No, but it's fun.
It's more on like the comedy side of things.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Which I can appreciate. It's well animated. I wouldn't say it's anything like particularly special. Again,
no, it's like average, a little above average in moments, and that's
it's above average, but it's not. It didn't like blow me away.
No.
The story is nothing.
literally nonsense.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
But I think for something like being sick, if you like kaijus and like kind of like gross out humor a little bit, and are looking for some like above average action sequences, I can get behind Kaiju number 8.
And something that's fun about that show, which is an absolute blessing, is that like everyone's an adult. And that is not common in a lot of modern anime. That is nice. And it's really nice that it's about adults. And
I do like that. That's a huge plus for Kaiju number 8.
Yeah, but no, I think like the world for that series is very cool. And like if you're into like monster movies and like Godzilla and stuff, you'll enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. That's what I say, right? Like I would never recommend it. It's
a fun out of 10.
Kaiju number 8 is cinema, but is it? Yeah, it's a fun out of 10, and that's what it's for, and it does it well. Yeah, it knows what it is.
Yeah.
Watch all of Solo Leveling, which had 2 seasons, unlike Kaiju number 8.
Yeah.
And Solo Leveling has some fight scenes that fucking rule.
Oh yeah.
That are so good.
Yeah.
Like and some fight scenes that like are on that like Demon Slayer level of like, this is beautiful and these people are incredibly talented for making this. Much like Demon Slayer, and not to talk too much about Demon Slayer, but the story is dog shit. And
oh my God.
Honestly, the story in Solo Leveling may be worse than the story in Demon Slayer. The main character becomes a worse person.
It's de-twinkification, yeah.
he becomes worse.
Yeah, it's a horror. Well, that's the thing, right? Is he's becoming a monster, you know? Yeah.
Is that the bit?
I would assume so. I want to preface this. I dropped this show. I figured it out.
Okay.
I'm good. I got what I wanted out of it.
Maybe that's the bit, but it's hard to get behind him because he's objectively a worse person than he was when he wasn't the chosen one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story, like, it's non-existent. Somehow they do the Chimera Ant arc, but worse.
Wait until we get to the sequel series where it's about his kid. Just you wait. It only gets better.
Right?
I wish I was kidding. That's real.
No, it's fine. And so, like, season 1, I honestly didn't like.
It's not great. It's just the last part with Igris or whatever his name is. That's awesome.
Yes, that's the best part.
That's the best.
Easily.
It's worth it. You're like, oh my god, that's the best fight I've ever seen in anime.
Yes, the best part of season 1 is right at the end, obviously with Igris.
Oh, he's the coolest fucking thing ever.
Igris is the coolest person in the show. By far.
And just get rid of the main character. Make him the main character.
Igris could be the main character.
Yeah.
But I think what I have to say about Solo Leveling is, like, season 1 is whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. The fight with Igris is so fucking sick. And so if you kind of know what you're getting into, which is cool fights, objectively it has cool fights. Yeah. Like, it absolutely does. And I think what they realized with season 2 was, like, that's all it was.
You need more good fights, yeah.
Because it even seems like I don't want to get into, like, the ability he gains.
Yeah.
Because it's really in spoiler territory.
Yeah.
But he gains an ability that the only purpose of the ability is making the fights cooler.
Yeah.
Like, thematically, it makes no fucking sense that he has that ability.
Yeah.
No one else has it.
No, it's so
notably.
Funny. He's the chosen one.
And he also, none of his skills imply that would be an ability he gained.
No, he's just the chosen one. Yeah.
He just gets it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's cool as fuck.
Yeah, it is fucking cool. Yeah.
And the way it comes out in fights is cool as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And it means we get to see Igris more, which is cool as fuck. But I think for season 2, they lean more into the idea that, like, okay, we just need to find excuses to set up cool fights for this guy.
And speed up the storytelling, yeah.
And speed up the storytelling, because no one gives a fuck about that. So I feel like season 2 more.
It's fun, yeah.
Because I was more engaged with, like, I know what we're here for, and you're delivering pretty consistently. So, like, I'm not too mad at you.
It's a show I encourage people to watch and put on on the side. Like, you don't actually sit there and watch it until
when the fights are
and then the fight happens and you turn and you're like, hell yeah, let's go, Igris. Yeah. And, like, that's awesome. But no, it's not really something I, like, sit down and, like I mentioned, like, I dropped it. I just didn't keep. I'll go back and watch all the fights and stuff, and it'll be fun one day.
Like I said,
but I have no desire to keep
dope. They continue to be dope. The final fight in season 2 is sick as fuck.
I'm sure it's awesome.
Like, it's awesome. Igris aura farms for, like, 80% of every fight.
It's my goat. Yeah.
There are fights where there are shots of him just standing there.
Yeah.
Like, with the scarf and the, like.
Fire. Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. Igris is cool as hell, and the fact that he's there for the whole show is even cooler.
The rule of cool is very important, and I think society has been reminded about that.
Yeah, and the situations where he fights with Igris are super cool. We got
Igris and Shadow the Hedgehog in the same year. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. So it definitely is a rule of cool.
Yeah.
But I think Kaiju number 8 and Soul Leveling are in that, like, tier of anime that is, like,
it's fun out of 10.
If you want to have, like, a good time just watching good fights, that's what they're good for. Put it up there with Demon Slayer. Of, like, that's what they do. Honestly, nothing in either of those shows was as good as the fire guy from Demon Slayer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But he's also dies.
Yeah.
So,
whoa. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, no. Like, it's been a while. Like,
but no, you're
the only thing
right.
that gets close is Igris, and, like, even he's not quite as cool. So, like, again, you give, you take. You know what those shows are, and if you like them, you will love Solo Leveling.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
The same way that you'll love Demon Slayer.
Well,
and there's stuff to appreciate about those.
You don't even know. You don't even know how good it is. That's the best part. It just keeps getting better. You have no idea. It gets better. It's insane.
Oh my God.
Insane. You watch the first, like, 10, 12 episodes?
I've seen the first 10, yeah.
Oh my God, you have no fucking idea. It's so good.
Yeah, so don't spoil it.
Oh my God,
this is the one
it's
I haven't
so good.
finished.
I cried
Frieren?
so much watching that show. It's so good.
Frieren makes me cry every episode.
Yeah.
Every fucking episode.
Who's your
My
favorite
partner
character
has
so far?
no idea why. I like Jaime.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
He's dope as hell. He just,
Yeah.
I mean, he makes me sad.
Yeah. No, Himmel is awesome. Yeah. Do you know what happened, like, society-wise, like, and how this show affected, like, kids in Japan?
No, and I don't want to know.
No.
Don't tell me till later.
No. It's like such a non-spoiler, I promise.
Okay, sure.
There was a phrase that is said at one point that is like, "What would Himmel do?" Right?
Yes, yeah.
And kids, like, really were attached to that in Japan. Were parents, and like, this is the thing
That's
that, like,
so
there were articles
sick.
about this, would be like, Himmel would eat his fucking broccoli. Himmel would do his fucking homework. Himmel would clean up his trash. And like, oh man, is that awesome. I love when there's just like a really positive, clean impact from something like that, where he's just like, dude, he's the fucking hero. And he really is. And like, you don't even know the half of it. Like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk to you about it. You have to finish it. You have to finish it.
Yeah, I will. I think I have to be like emotionally available to finish it. Yeah. Because it's not an easy watch like the other ones.
No.
But the art is beautiful. Like, borderline unmatched. And when I was like, the only thing that gets close to this is the first season of One Punch Man, and it's by the same people. So like, obviously.
No, I think this show's special too, because every character is like really unique in the way they look.
Every character feels like a person.
Yeah.
The story is driven by like motivations that feel relevant and interesting.
Yeah.
And there is like a significant emotional beat that builds upon the understanding you have of every character in the show every time someone interacts with them.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
And the way that like even like the main character is like a bit of a dick sometimes.
Yes.
But like the way that she interacts with people and understands the world and like learns justifies it from a perspective of like, you're like, I kind of get it. And as the main character grows in that way, you feel attached to them as a result of like feeling like something human was understood.
The way I always tell people to watch this show is you get to see somebody learn what the human experience is in real time.
Yeah.
And like, in a magical world that's beautiful. Like, that is so cool. And I don't think anything has ever done it the way this show has and will continue to do.
Yeah. And minor spoilers for episode 4. Turn off your ears if you don't want to hear it. But they go and see a sunset. And the main character's like, why would I give a fuck about that?
Yeah, she's seen 1,000 of them and millions more.
She's seen 1,000 of them for thousands of years. And I think that moment in that episode is like, this is what the fucking show is about.
Oh, yes,
this is what it's about.
Yes.
This is what this fucking show is about.
It's so good. I love it so much. It's so perfect.
So yeah. Of the 3 that I watched, that one's not done yet. And again, it's because it's harder to binge because it's
a lot.
It's a lot.
You're locked in.
I recommend it the most. By far. Genuinely. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna shift the tone.
I watched the first 5 episodes of Space Brothers.
Yes, and you need to watch more of that too.
Yeah.
But that's also gonna be a hard watch, but it's a good watch. It's a feel good watch, but it's a hard watch. Because you're gonna be like, fuck, I care. I care.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite shows of all time. And I'll kind of segue off that it's like one of the shows I got Blair to start watching is one of my favorite animes of all time, Space Brothers. So 2 brothers whose dream when kids is to become astronauts and like literally go to the moon. And one of them actually fucking does it. And it motivates the older brother, who is now in his like just about or just within his 30s, to actually apply for the NASA astronaut space training like program. And that whole experience of like, it's never too late to live your dreams and all of that. And like, what's really cool about this show is they actually worked with NASA and JAXA in like showcase what the programs were actually like. You didn't get there yet, but like It's so fucking awesome. As like that's like one of my hyperfixations is like space and NASA and all that, and it's just
That's so sick.
it's the coolest thing ever, and I frankly will never get anything like it ever again. But it is such a cool little piece of media that I recommend people check out. But my actual media of the week is that every single person listening to this right now, if you've played Undertale or consumed it, go play Deltarune. And if you have already played again, because this week we get chapter 3 and 4 coming up on Thursday when the Switch comes out on the 5th. So fucking play Deltarune. Everybody play Deltarune. I don't care what you gotta do. Call out of work. Play fucking Deltarune. This is like gonna be like a historic moment of like, go home, get home from work. Don't open Twitter. Don't open YouTube. Don't open it. Fucking play Deltarune. It'll be on Steam. It'll be on everything. Play it. This is like going to be impactful for like the whole internet psyche. Like, oh my god. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Please play Deltarune, because Toby Fox can have the world. I don't care.
I gotta be honest in that I've only played Deltarune chapter 1.
You should play chapter 2.
And I'm so bad about finishing games like this.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, what you should do is like play chapter 2 like Wednesday. Like, just be like, I'm going to do this, because you could do it in a sitting, and it's not long.
Yeah.
And then you're ready to go. The next day, you're ready to go, and just commit to it. You gotta do it.
I've tried to finish Omori 3 times.
No,
I've never gotten to the end.
You and RPGs, you just can't fucking do it.
I tried to finish Disco Elysium 3 times and never gotten to the end.
We gotta just like duct tape you to a chair and make you do it.
It's so bad, and I hate myself because I know that they're objectively good.
Oh, you
they're
gotta do it.
objectively good, and I'm like engaged with the content, but I just like I can't. Like I barely finished Undertale.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
Maybe the wave is watching someone else.
I mean, yeah, you should do that. Like, I encourage you. One, you should fucking go watch a not narrated Omori playthrough and experience it, because if you don't know what happens in that game, it's fucking amazing. But for Deltarune, like, if you really can't get yourself to it, I encourage you guys pick your favorite streamer to watch it. I don't think I'm gonna stream it. I think that's a me thing. I think I'm gonna that be a me thing. That's my shit. But I encourage you guys to find your favorite streamer to go watch it. Because it's gonna be an awesome week.
It's good. It's good. So good. And Toby Fox puts out incredible stuff.
He's the chef.
Like, consistently. Like, he just gets it.
He does. He really does.
And so I'm frustrated with myself that I have trouble getting behind it, because again, it's such a me problem. It's such a me problem.
It's okay. I still haven't played Elden Ring, so you're chill.
I haven't played it either. So this is so fucked, and this is gonna get a little bit off topic.
This is your last one, and then I'm ending it.
I'm promising you, I cannot play a single player game unless there is some gas. There has to be some
You need the yellow paint, huh?
I need something. For, like, for example, Expedition 33. The gas was the parry mechanic.
Yeah.
That was the gas.
You just don't get it. Like, you just don't get it.
I don't. I'm a fucking gym.
Yeah.
And I'll say it. I'm fully a gym on this. Like, if it doesn't play like Doom or Devil May Cry or Bioshock or like Claire Obscure or fucking, like, it just needs some gas, or I'm not gonna.
You just don't get it. It's okay. You'll get it. You'll get it one day.
I don't get it. I get myself. I know what my limitations are. If it's a single player game, there has to be some form of like adrenaline based skill expression, or I won't finish it.
You haven't fought Radon, and it shows. And you don't even know what that means. It's okay. That's the fun part.
I do know what that means. That's the fucking Elden Ring guy from the DLC. I do know Radon, okay? I'm in the culture.
Well, on that note, we'll be back again probably sometime next week or the week after, and probably next week, because we'll talk about
and we'll talk about the patch.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot on the board.
We got stuff.
It's a good time, everybody. Go watch good anime. Play fucking Deltarune, and we'll see you next time. Bye.